Yes! Hello everybody. My camera is skewiff. My lighting is all over the place. My office is a mess. But we're live. Hello and welcome, foolish mortals, to another live stream, and potentially the last live stream we do before Little Nightmares 3 is officially released into our greedy little hands. And I'm stoked. How do you guys feel? Hello everybody, what's up? What's up, Heaven Robinson? Altax in the building. Kip, you made it. I'm glad you survived, because we sacrificed you last time. I remember. You were delicious. Current Worm, hello there. Mr. Tibbs, my brother, is in the building. How's it going, big man? It's good to see you. How's it going, KR? Hey, Gemini, how are you? And Mama Gem? Gemini is absolutely fine. Mama Gem, she's up and down, but she's okay. She's still with us and she is strong. And I always appreciate you asking about my mum. Thank you to everybody that comes in and shows a lot of love to Mama Gem, because I show her these messages. She very much appreciates you guys. Thank you. Thank you all. What's up, Chris? How's it going? Mr. Lark is in the building. It's good to see you. I just watched Mr. Lark play through Little Nightmares 2 for the first time ever. He did remarkably well, actually. What did you think of the end of the game, Mr. Lark? Did it stir you up as much as it did us? Because it messed with me. Like, it did something psychological to me. So, just real quick, I just want to check if the sound is alright. Like, you guys should be able to hear the Little Nightmares soundtrack playing subtly in the background, like amazing melodies by Tobias Lilia, playing behind my obnoxiously loud voice. But let me know if the voice is too loud, if I'm too loud, the music's too loud. Just let me know how the audio is, because as a lot of you guys who are regulars here know, I am deaf in here. Like, I don't have the music on, because if I did, it'd bleed into the mic and you guys would get a subpar experience, and that's not what we do here. Now, what's up, Nightmare? Hello. Nintendo Gamer Kid, hey, how's it going? How is it going? Current Worm, I'm doing really well. Really, really well indeed. Just a Panther, hello. I have many things to say to you. Germ. Germ. Bro. Oh, right, you call me Germ, that's it. Mortal Kombat. Bro, what's up, Heaven? How's it going? Nick's villain arc. I'm a walking villain arc. Geminist on step. I absolutely refuse to refer to my viewers as Geminists. It's not happening. It's not a thing. Stop it. Get some help. Oh, Xerox24, Gem, I'm ready for a second out of context. Oh, trust me, there will be one. There will absolutely be one. What's up, Gabriel VR? How's it going? Iris Both. Hey, Gemini, have you ever considered the symbolism behind things in Little Nightmares 3? Take the spiral, for example. Spirals are sometimes associated with themes of cycles, duality, and interconnectedness. Yes, absolutely, and there is so many references to the spiral in the Nowhere that I wasn't really aware of before. And although I think the spiral, or at least the image of the spiral, I think it can be taken contextually. There is, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to answer this right now, only because I'm writing a theory about it, and I think it's really important and it has a lot of legs, but I don't want to spoil it. I'm literally writing the theory as we speak. I nearly showed you the notebook there, prove it. I'm writing the theory at the moment, but it's based around the spiral and the implications of the spiral shape and what it could represent on a fundamental level. So bear with me, Iris Moth, you are absolutely right. I'm glad your all-seeing eye has caught it and brought it to everybody's attention, but I intend to do so as well, and you'll see what I mean before long. What's up, Aspen Groves? Join into Gem, calling a sacrifice delicious is concerning. But alright, go off, King. Yes! No fear. No fear. Yeah, thank you, Aspen. I'm going off. Yay, what's up, Blues Journey? How's it going? Hello there. Edward! Hey, Gem, was about to start drawing, but noticed you went live, so I had to join. Feel free to draw, Edward. By all means, don't let me distract you. I would hate to distract you from your craft. I love seeing artwork. It's one of my favourite things to do. Usually, I'm not very active in the Discord servers. Like, I'm a member of pretty much every Little Nightmares community Discord server, but I'm very inactive because I usually just use it as an advertising platform, but I also use it to look at people's artworks because I really like art. Both of my parents are artists. I like to draw too, I'm just not very good at it. Kit Kat Katsy is in the building. Let's get a brr fucking. That's me cancelled. Well, what's up, Zachary? How's it going? Sorry for skipping your ad promo. You will be. That's it, Zachary. You've just volunteered yourself for sacrifice at the end of the stream. Congratulations. You will be delicious also. The Geminists have united. Shut up, Tibbs. Nobody asked you. Yeah, also sorry if I keep drifting off camera. So I'm moving house. I'm moving house soon. I'm not going very far. I've actually been looking at some properties recently. So everything is kind of a mess at the moment. I had to move a bunch of my lights and pack away a lot of my stuff and get prepped and ready to move. So forgive me if my office setup seems a little bit like all over the place right now. But yeah, it's all good. Why an eye though? Because eyes are the windows to the soul. I agree. Hey, Faceless Art and Skills. Speaking of artwork, look at you. How's it going, Faceless? It's good to see you in the chat. I loved it, bro. Definitely made me feel something. Yeah, honestly, Mr. Lark, it hit me so hard. It's unbelievable. Like, if you want to see me actually cry on the internet, watch my Little Nightmares 2 playthrough. And it's kind of embarrassing because back then I was really overweight too. So, like, if you were to look at me then before I lost the weight and started hitting the gym and dieting and stuff, it's just me, fat and crying and rather upset about the fact that we've just been betrayed by our best friend. It's like, honestly, it's a sorry state of affairs. If you want to see me in a pathetic state, by all means, check out that video after this stream. Don't leave. Please, don't leave me. Yeah, the out of context video by Step was art. It was actual art. I'm not joking. It was legitimately great. I loved it. I remember seeing it pop up in my newsfeed. I'm like... Oh, bro. Gem, I think the souls have a big importance in the lore. In Little Nightmares 1, 6 absorbed souls because they stopped being animated after 6 used her powers. I think the eye doesn't depict nowhere after all. Is that so? You'll have to elaborate a little bit more, Step. I'm intrigued. Also, I heard there will be an event on the 30th of September. Yeah, I think it's a tabletop board game, I believe. I actually have a screenshot of it saved on my computer because I'm rather intrigued by it and I can't wait to see it. That's only in a couple of days though. But feel free to theorize on the matter. What's up, GKS? How you doing? Remember, we will do more streams for the DLC. We will. We absolutely will. Absolutely we will. There's so much to cover, guys. Like, the Little Nightmares universe has absolutely exploded over the last couple of months. It's just been wild how it's gone from us having 3 games, a couple of comics, and a mobile game. Well, sorry, 3 games, the mobile games included. So we had 3 games, a couple of comics, and then a few theorists online. And now it's like, it's just growing exponentially. We've got so much. We got podcasts, we got novels, we got guides, we got walkthroughs, we got more games, we got DLC, we got collectibles. Like, there is so much that I can't list it all without forgetting some. The VR game is coming out. Okay, did I fix it? Oh no. Okay, right, can you guys see me again? Okay, I'm back, but with no mic. Okay, now I'm back with mic. Alright. Okay, sorry guys, Ferry Man just stopped in for a minute there and decided to pull me away, but he told me something. He told me a secret. I don't know what happened. My frames just sort of went and just started depleting all of a sudden. But we're back and we're still alive. Unfortunately, I'm still here. I lost a bunch of you guys. Hopefully those guys will come back. Signal interruption. Yeah, exactly. Marto called it. Do I get an achievement for that? Ferry Man, god damn it. Where's my achievement? I see your mug now. There's my mug and here's my mug. Which one's better looking? clearly the cherry cola. Okay, let's see. Okay, just give people a second to return. If they intend to. They probably thought, oh, thank God that's over. We're finally rid of him. He's been taken forever. His body evanesced. Yeah, sorry, dudes. Hey, what's up, Sire? Glad you can make it. I wasn't sure if you were going to get in today. Who would have bet that Gemini will win a fight with the Ferry Man? I doubt it. The dude's big. Dude's big. Like, you know, I can scrap, don't get me wrong. I like combat sports. I was a kickboxer for a long time. I used to fight in competitions. I fought in the cage, a lot of local championships and things like that. And I've done all right, but Ferryman's a big dude. Bro has superpowers. Like, I don't know if his superpowers are better than mine. They probably are. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could take the Ferryman in a fight. Stop dropping my bitrate. I'm warning you. Gemini would melt that candle man down. Oh, thanks, guys. It's good to know some of you believe in me. Believe in the biceps. Oh, yeah, also, do you guys like my shirt? It's a very Gemini-esque shirt, I believe. I decided to wear this for the stream. Gemini-lings. What's up, Rog? How's it going? Yeah, but you have the cult. Hey, yeah, that's true. I have a cult. I have an army behind me. Oh, he got that drip. He got that drip, though. There's another out of context scene for you. God damn it. I have a feeling Little Nightmares 3 will have 4 chapters. How would you feel if it does? Disappointed, because I think there's more. At least if you include the DLC, because I know they've only really told us of 3 so far, but I am inclined to believe that Little Nightmares 3 will have more than 4. It'll probably be 5 or 6. I know that we've got at least 5 if you include the DLC. I'm not sure if you're talking about just the base game. If you're talking about the base game, you could absolutely be right. But the DLC has 2 of its own, and the developers have told us that it is separate chapters, so they're separate areas. The Backstage, which I suppose... Excuse me. I suppose the Backstage could kind of be linked to the carnival, so I'm not sure if you would count that as one chapter. Or at least one area. I personally would count it as somewhere different, especially after reading the Lonely Ones novel, which if you haven't, and 60% of you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. Because, oh my days, there's some stuff in there, there's some gold. I'm reluctant to talk about this since so many of you guys haven't got a chance to read it yet. I will put up a Do You Care About Spoilers poll before long, but I'm going to let a few more people get in first and make their voices heard and say hi to everybody still. But yeah, Panther, if it's just base game, you might be right that there's 4 chapters in the base game and then 2 extra ones in the DLC after. Yeah, you're probably right on that. Unless they sneak in a secret 5th chapter for us, kind of like they did with Little Nightmares 2. Because we got the wilderness, then the school, then the hospital, the Pale City, and then we got the Signal Tower, which was like it was only a very small chapter, but it still counted, in my opinion. What's up, Plasma? How's it going? Plasmatic, I remember you. Small detail I noticed in The Lonely Ones that I haven't seen anyone talk about. I think it was in the 4th chapter. Feast knocks down a statue on a shelf and Black Mesa. Yeah, I picked up on that as well. And I think that we actually see a reference to that in... And again, spoiler alert for those of you guys. I mean, I know all of you guys are aware that there will be spoilers for Little Nightmares across the board in this stream. I don't think you'd be here if you didn't want to see them, or at least if you were like entirely opposed to them. But I saw a lady statue in Little Nightmares 3. I know it exists, I know it's there, and I dare say that that is what Feast knocked over. My question is, what do they contain? I'm curious about what they contain. Also, this is a multivitamin, so you know, I'm just having a multivitamin. I just realised that you guys are watching me pop pills. It's literally just like fat metabolizers, ginger root extract, cod liver oil, and multivitamins. It's nothing strange. But I forgot to do it before the stream, and I'm like, I need them, and I'll forget later, so forgive me. Could this have been a geisha statue? Yeah, Heaven, it absolutely could. Definitely could. Using mirror to a mythical play. Oh wait, I'm missing Step's theory. Sorry, Step. I keep on missing Step because I'm jumping massive steps because I keep distracting myself. I'll go back and read through it in a little bit. I had fun playing the demo. Never got to play the other demos. I loved it, and I absolutely did, Catsy. It was dope. I loved it so much, so much. I've played it so many times now. I've literally played it like probably 10 times as both characters in every outfit. Also, what did you guys think of the outfits? What did you guys think? Like, so those of you that played the demo, and I'm going to assume a lot of you guys have played the Little Nightmares 3 demo. What did you think of the outfits that we can get as Low and Alone? Because obviously we get the base outfits that we fully expected to get. What I didn't expect is that they would give us secret outfits that I never saw advertised until the demo came out, and then there they were. We got Wax Bellman outfits for both Low and Alone, and I know that the pre-order comes with Dark 6 outfits, so you get the Dark Shadowy Raincoat. What I didn't expect is you can get Shadow Low and Shadow Alone. And they look different to the Shadow 6 ones that we get. And it made me think, what are the implications of those outfits? Like, is there a reason? You know, like how Mono can get the hat afterwards, and if we got the hat at the beginning of the game, or earlier in the game, it might sort of give a lot away. Do you think that these particular Shadow outfits give some inclination or some clue as to what's going to happen to Low and Alone towards the end of the game? Like, is there any theories floating around that? Because I've got stuff going on in my head, but I'm not really sure. I have to go and eat now. Hey, no worries, Current Worm. I'll see you when you get back. Do you think there's a connection between the reappearance of the yellow raincoat and the phrase, "There's always a little girl in it"? Ooh, no, there could be, KR. And don't worry about repeating yourself. I miss a lot of chat, because obviously you guys outnumber me like 40-1, typically speaking. So if you have to repeat yourself, you have to repeat yourself. It's absolutely fine. Don't apologise. It's totally cool. If I don't respond to your comment, it's because I haven't seen it. I promise I'm not ignoring you. That's not what I do. But yes, KR, there could definitely be a link there. I don't know if it's specifically to do with 6, but the raincoat could be implicated somehow as well, because we've heard references to the raincoat. Well, we've had references to the raincoat in 3 separate forms of media. In Little Nightmares, well, obviously in the games with 6, but then with the girl in the yellow raincoat in Very Little Nightmares, who is not 6, and then again in the Sounds of Nightmares where they mention the raincoat specifically. And there was another time, oh no it wasn't, it was the raincoat is also visible in Otto's office, in the, not in the Sounds of Nightmares, but if you watched the Little Nightmares showcase, or back in September, not September, what am I talking about, back in June, they had backdrops where the developers were being interviewed and given speeches and revelations and things like that, and there is a yellow raincoat hanging up in what was Otto's office there as well, which is curious in itself. And I know that's probably just like a little Easter egg for those fans and, you know, if you know you know moments, but it makes me wonder if there was a raincoat in Otto's office in the thing that they just didn't really mention. Stinkles, Lady Statue was in a secret room in Little Nightmares 2. Yes, it absolutely was. Hey, puppy, what's up? How you doing? Chat, should I go read the rest of the Lonely Ones on chapter 3? Yes, Nightmare, you should. You should. You should be reading it now. Absolutely now. Yeah, the Ferryman outfits look dope, Roach. They really do. Gemini, I think that Lo is gradually pushing Alone away and they're going to be more distant by the end of the game. Yeah, that was kind of evident from the interaction between them where Lo goes up to the mirror in the carnival, and he has a look through and it's like, nope, this isn't where we're going, and he kind of discards the map. And Alone picks it up and she's like, no, we're doing okay. And he's like, no, get away from me, don't talk to me, I'm in a mood. And he, you know, because he was grumpy about it, wasn't he? So potentially they could like eventually drive themselves apart one way or another. I'm not really sure how. Yeah, Kip, there are outfits in the demo. There are outfits in the demo, and it blew my tiny little mind. Yeah, it's not a glitch and remain outfit. It doesn't glitch. It's more like a misty, ethereal kind of thing. Like, and I tell you what, it reminds me of. You know, the Shadow Kids from the Maw. It reminds me of them, just without the mask. And if you leave the mask on low, then that's that. Also, you guys, right? Yeah, that's. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna end this one. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start a new poll real quick because I want to know if this is something that I should be talking about right now or if I should be keeping it still. Do you mind spoilers for the lonely ones? Yes. There you go. So basically this poll that I've just put up is regarding this. Little Nightmares, The Lonely Ones by the wonderfully creative E.C. Myers, who I've had the pleasure of talking to on a couple of occasions. He's a very, very nice man, a very, very pleasant person to speak to. I've read through this in its entirety and I was enthused. It's amazing and I absolutely love it, and there's some revelations in here that I would like to discuss today, but I don't want to ruin anything for you guys. So obviously, if there is, if anybody here is opposed to me talking about this, please let me know in the comments, because obviously if that poll goes up and it's like 90% of you are like, don't tell us, I won't. Because I'm not here to spoil anything, I'm not here to ruin it. I'm a theorist, yes, and I make predictions, yes. But what I won't do is actively try to ruin the game. I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm trying to make educated guesses and make predictions and speculations and thoughts and theories, and if I'm right, then great. But like, let's say the developers of Little Nightmares came to me and they said, here's the Law Bible, it tells you everything. I would not, under any circumstances, take that Law Bible and come to YouTube and read it to you guys. Because that, to me, would ruin the game. The ambiguity of Little Nightmares and the ethereal expanse that is the nowhere is supposed to be secretive and ambiguous and strange and mysterious. And the fact that it has us sticking to it for so long after, like, for years, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, Little Nightmares came out. We're still here. We're still talking about it, and it's still a mystery. But I don't think half of us would be like half as interesting. I don't think half of us would be anywhere remotely as interested in the Little Nightmares franchise if we had all the answers. Do you agree? Might never read the novel anyway, so I'll take the spoilers. Yeah, I know that a lot of people... Yeah, the book is only little, sire. It's, it's a novel. It's only 150 pages, so it doesn't take very long to read, and the text is fairly large. You can get through this in an hour or two. Like, it depends how quick a reader you are. Like, I took like 3 hours getting through this because I kept rereading sections and really trying to like paint a picture of the environment. I can read fast and digest information relatively quickly, but when I wanted to be immersed, I had I had the Little Nightmares theme playing in the background, and I'm listening to it. I've got the lights dimmed and everything, and I'm like right up close to the book, like inside, so close I could smell the pages. Like really trying to paint a picture in my mind of what the book was trying to tell me and what images were in there. And there's a whole lot in there that I was absolutely intrigued by, and I'd love to talk about it with you guys, so obviously, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody either. So if any of you guys intend to read this and you don't want to be spoiled, you absolutely don't want to talk about it, then is your opportunity to make your voices heard right now. We're up to 39 votes. I'm going to wait for a little bit long. I'm going to give it like 10-15 minutes before I actually start talking about it, to give people an opportunity to still interact with the stream, but also I don't want everybody to just disappear because they don't want the spoilers, but I would advise you to do so also if you don't want spoilers. So gotta eat lunch, no worries, Nix, absolutely fine. No worries. See you later, KR. It's my pleasure. Don't worry. I'm here to address your questions. It was my pleasure to do so. Also, is it me, or is the Carnival the most returned area in the franchise? Yes, it absolutely is, Panther. You're 100% right. The carnival is hugely significant in the Little Nightmares universe at the moment, and it sounds dope. It looks dope, sorry. I haven't played in it myself. I've seen a lot of it. I feel like the carnival now, weirdly enough, don't you think this is strange, that out of all the areas, when Little Nightmares 3 was first announced, we assumed kind of like that the necropolis was going to be like the main area because it was all we'd been subjected to. Then we got to see the candy factory next, and they sort of like kept the carnival for last almost. And it's like, well, why hide it for so long if it's such a significant part of the franchise? But I think the carnival itself hides a lot of secrets. I think there's a lot of... We're going to discover anything about Little Nightmares and uncover anything about the nature of the nowhere itself. We'll do it in the carnival. And I think that's why there's so much around it. Like, so much surrounding it as far as the media goes. With this book having the carnival in it, with the Sounds of Nightmares having carnival in it, and Little Nightmares 3, of course, having the carnival in it as well. And they're implied to be the same carnival. So that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. Okay, let's see. Yo, Gemini, I've been working on more animation practices for my character Glitchy Leon, and I've been doing pretty okay. And I was wondering what you think of her redesign. I think it's dope. It's absolutely dope. Glitchy Leon is my favourite one of your OC characters. I think she's freaky as hell. I'd really like to see some of your animated work, especially if you do like a more extended one, because animation is incredibly difficult to do, especially if you're doing it by hand. So that kind of thing is admirable, and I'd love to see more of it. I really like Glitchy's redesign. It's subtle, but it adds just that extra layer of, what's the word? Uneasiness. Like, she's unsettling to look at in the most respectful way. The clothing room for the Sounds of Nightmares 6 is in the carnival. It's written by the author of DTN, and Lowe's mask is seen in DTN, same as raincoat and trenchcoat. And yep, Step is absolutely right there. Absolutely right. Man in the purple suit. Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, Caleb, what did you think of the man in the purple suit? Have you seen him in the demo? Have you seen his actual gameplay yet? I expected the man in the purple suit not to be as frightening as he is, but oh my god, he's a terrifying... He is a very, very frightening entity. Somebody asked earlier, what do I think of the kin and the minikin? I think they're amazing. I'm really, really, like, unsettled by them. I think they're freaky. Like, the little dude, the sounds he makes... You know, and their codependence on one another. It's just really strange and surreal, isn't it? It's awful to look at, but it's so good to watch. Like, I can't wait to be in his presence and to see what it's like to feel unsafe, because you're not safe. When we're talking about a character that's essentially two of a kind, you're not safe anywhere. Like, from, like, the chefs or even the janitor and people like that, you were safe in certain areas. Like, certain characters can't chase you, right? Like, if you were to get into the vents or if you were to hide somewhere, you would feel safe from certain certain characters, particularly the bigger ones and the less intelligent ones. The teacher kind of threw us for a loop with that one because she decided to invade the vents by force, and she put a whole new level of bull onto that game. But the kin and the minikin, you're not safe anywhere, because that thing will hunt you down, and it doesn't matter if you sneak into a small space or a crevice or a hiding spot, because he can just pop the thing off and send it after you like a little attack dog. It's gross. Gemini, I think Alone is hiding something, since Lo is always being put in the spotlight while Alone is mostly ignored. Tells me she's going to be really important, even more than Lo. Potentially, yeah, especially considering the character on the front of that thing that's coming up. So let me just bring it up on my screen so that I quote it correctly. So there's a tabletop game, or at least what I think a tabletop game. It's been advertised on X or Twitter, Little Nightmares Sickly Sweet, and it's premiering on September 30th, and I think it's a tabletop game, like a board game. I think that's what it is, and I don't know the implications of it, but I love the style, and it's really interesting, and the character on the face of it looks a lot like Alone, and I can't tell if it is Alone or not, but it's got a lot of similar features. I don't know if they're just throwing as a curveball or whatnot, but that's really interesting. And if it is alone, that means that there is a lot to Alone's story that we don't know yet, right? Do you think the Maw and the Carnival are made by the same parent companies? Potentially, Stinkles, yeah, absolutely. They could definitely be made by the same companies, or at least controlled by the same entity. What's up, Fallen Angel? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing alright. I have a theory. Lo has unique powers because he's been in the nowhere for a long time. Little Nightmares producer. Lo has been in the nowhere for a long time but never lost hope of finding a place to go home. Yeah. This is something else that intrigued me, guys. The end of the Little Nightmares 3 demo, we see Lo wake up after an interaction with the monster baby. He wakes up alone by him, not alone, but he wakes up by himself in what we can assume is the counties, in like a cell in a bed, unmasked, right? He wakes from a nightmare, and it's implied that he's in the counties, he's in the waking world. But is he though? Is he? And if he is, what does that mean? What are the implications behind that? Because, as you just said, and as has been stated by the developers, and it's still, you can still find, if you look up Lo's description online, it says he's been in the nowhere for years, right? Lo has been in the nowhere for years. So if he's waking up and he's like popping, like if he's like evanescing in and out of reality for between the nowhere and the counties, then what we're seeing must be a flashback, right? It's got to be a flashback, because if by the time we meet Lo in the necropolis and we take control of him as a playable character, he's already implied to have been in the nowhere, stated to have been in the nowhere for years, then we don't know the story of how he got to the nowhere. Could it be? So there's a couple of theories that surround that, but I want to know what you guys think. So number one, it's like that's the first one, is what do you guys think of that? Do you think that Lo is that the end of the Little Nightmares 3 demo is a flashback, or do you think we're seeing his journey into the nowhere and how he becomes a part of it? Also, those of you that have listened to the Sounds of Nightmares podcast, given the implications of Lo being in the counties at the end of Little Nightmares 3 demo, do you suspect that Lo is Ethan from the Sounds of Nightmares episode 6? What do you think? Hey, Dynamic Lights, how's it going? Carnival's most likely a parallel to the Maw in some kind of way, or at least similar. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is, especially after what the implications in here, and also what has been shown to us in the trailers, in the gameplay trailers, and in the I'm looking for somewhere safe to put my book so I don't crumple the pages up. But yeah, Fallen Angel, hey Gemini, this is my first live stream, I keep missing them. Hey, don't worry, it's alright, it's really good to see you here. So I just basically yap about Little Nightmares. If you don't want spoilers, I'm really sorry, because there are going to be some, and I will trip over myself. But I'm really glad that you can make it to the stream. Feel free to make your voice heard, share your theories, thoughts, and speculations. I'm trying to keep up with chat as best I can, but it's difficult. But welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Who's scarier, the kin or the teacher or the supervisor? Oh, that's a tough one, because as you guys know, the teacher is my worst nightmare. The teacher petrifies me. I think she is the most terrifying creature in Little Nightmares, and the reason she has that impact on me is because I relate to that character and her environment and what she implies throughout her presence in the nowhere. The teacher always made me more uneasy than any other creature in the Little Nightmares franchise. But I've never been subject to the... Oh my god, Jay Spaghetti! Everyone bow! Give me a sec, I will say thank you, Jet. Let me just finish what I was saying before I lose my train of thought. I've lost it. It's gone. You're distracting me. Damn it, Jet. Damn your kindness. Oh, thank you, Jet. That's really kind of you. Look at you. I can't love heart it. Why can't I love heart it? Why won't it let me interact with that comment? Well, thank you, Chet. Big W's for Jetty Spaghetti, my guardian angel in the chat. How's it going, Jet? I'm glad you can make it and say hello. I hope you're doing all right. It could be possible for Lo to be Ethan. It definitely could, right? I absolutely think it could. Yeah, Law's Ethan. Jem, important thing that I found, when you go to the demo settings and turn off antagonist and protagonist sounds, the man behind the door is still heard. It's listed as sound effects. Otto isn't good or bad either. So he's a neutral then. Mato, I think Law was pushed through traumatic experiences and now he relives these moments while travelling in the spiral. Yeah, Edward thinks it could be a flashback as well. Even though we don't have a lot of evidence, yes, I do. Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of evidence to support it, but it does stand to reason. Like, so if we look at the clips from if you really study the Little Nightmares opening, Little Nightmares 3 demo opening, you know, you get the pan. So you open the demo, you press play, and you start zooming into the mirror, and the mirror comes more and more into focus. And you're focusing on the mirror because you want to see what it is. And there's a mirror. Sorry, there's not a mirror. There's a window in the mirror. Yeah. Oh, what's that? Because obviously all of your attention is drawn on that. What some of you guys might not have noticed, because you're paying so much attention to what's in the mirror, you don't see what surrounds it. If you look around in the atmosphere where that mirror is standing, there is a box. And that box contains something that I think gives us a distinctive hint at where this story is going. Because the box is full of cassette tapes. Cassette tapes are used, and a lot of you guys won't even know what cassette tapes are because you're not old like me. But cassette tapes were used to record like everything, you know, to record footage and voices and interviews and things like that. Otto uses a tape recorder in his interviews with Noon. That's what that sound is, you know, the clicking, that sound. He keeps these tapes as an archive. That's how people used to keep records of patients in the hospitals and things like that, or conversations or interviews with the police and stuff. And there is a box of these cassette tapes, and it's full, next to the mirror in the opening to Little Nightmares 3. So it's like, not only is it implied that Law is taken to the counties and encounters Otto or a doctor of some description that approaches the door that he's very, very not keen on speaking to, considering he runs and hides under the bed when he approaches. But also, the fact that we see them tapes means that there is a good chance this takes place in the same environment. It could be the copy where we see Law. Oh, I see you can't heart stickers. Oh, well, that's fair enough. I appreciate it all the same. Well, it's got its own heart on anyway, so I'm happy. Thank you, Jet. I really appreciate you. Oh, Jet always takes good care of me. She knows how to make an entrance as well. Thank you, Jet. You're so humbling. I was playing Silent Hill F recently and there was a picture of a geisha with a long neck that's exactly like the teacher's. Coincidence? Yes, potentially. But I think that's because Silent Hill F is based in feudal Japan, and the idea of like a long-necked freakish entity, particularly one in a position of power, comes from Japanese mythology. I forgot what you call them now. There's a term for these creatures, but they're very popular in Japan. Japan actually came up with them. They're called like Aninyogi or something like that. I don't remember, but a lot of people speculate that the teacher's design is based on those. And the fact that Silent Hill F takes place in Japan means that a lot of the nightmare creatures that are drawn and pictured in Silent Hill F will be recognizable, particularly to people familiar with Japanese folklore and myth. You were talking about how the teacher was... Yes, I was, Silver Storm. Thank you so much for reminding me. I was talking about... Yes, so teacher is the scariest one for me, as she always has been, but I am yet to be subject to the kin and the mini-kin in the carnival, and I'm yet to be subject to the supervisor, both of which I think will be able to hold a candle to the teacher. They are very frightening and intimidating creatures just to look at and to experience. However... if you were, but I haven't been chased by them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I know they're frightening to look at. I know that it was a scary trailer. I know the music and the sound effects that that accompany these characters is terrifying on the face of it. Like, fundamentally, they're just scary. But are they as scary as the teacher? I think the teacher is the scariest for me at the moment, because I know what it's like to be in her presence. I know what it's like to be close up to the teacher. I know what it's like to be captured by the teacher, I know what it's like to be chased by the teacher, and I know what it's like to interact in the teacher's environment. I haven't been chased by the supervisor yet. So once I know what it's like to be around her, and feel the level of tension that she brings when you're in the candy factory being stalked through the vents by this thing, then I might well change my mind. But until I have a fully fledged understanding of what it's like to be in the presence of these residents, I don't want to say that they are more frightening than the teacher, because the teacher is my, like, pinnacle of fear at the moment as far as Little Nightmares is concerned. What are you thinking, Step? It's always dangerous when you think. Gemini, would you like to hear my honest thoughts on a Little Nightmares 3? Yeah, please, absolutely, be honest. This is a place of open and honesty. Maybe that mirror could be the exit of the nowhere. Yeah, it could be the nexus point that Lo is looking for, right? That could be the exit he's looking for. He's trying to get out. No worries, Iris Moth. I'll see you when you get back. If Otto isn't even or bad, then he's sometimes good. Bad and good stuff. Oh, sorry, that was aimed at Step anyway. I'm trying to read a comment that wasn't meant for me. You mentioned the cassettes brought something massive up. One sec, let me think. Yeah, think, Step, think. Think, Step, think. What will you have in 500 years? Don't mind spoilers. I'm glad to hear it, Fallen Angel, because there will be spoilers here. And I love to talk about this franchise, and I often slip up because the whole thing should come with a spoiler alert. I'm tempted to even put that in the title, just say, spoiler alert. I shall return. Real life calls. No worries. Always appreciate real life, as much as it sucks. But no worries. I will respect your your need to leave. But you better return, Aspen, or you'll be sacrificed. Dr. Chaos. Wait, I need to read Kip's comment there. Otto makes me want to peel my skin off. I know, right? I listened to the, I re-listened to the Sounds of Nightmares the other day, and listening to episode 1, it's great, and you kind of sympathise with him, and you're like, oh, this is really cool. And I'm like, alright, you know, Otto, he's not such a bad guy, and you're like, where's the creepy part? I know he's going to get creepy. When's it going to get creepy? And then the last line in episode 1, he goes, sweets for my sweet. And it's like, it's just gross. Bleh, bleh, don't speak to me. No, I wish you nothing but pain. Like, it's just, he's so weird. He's so freaking weird. Yeah, Otto makes my skin crawl. Creeper. Janitor and the man in the purple suit, if you look closely at their face, look very similar. Almost like they're twins. Yeah, you know, it made me think they could be related, because for the longest time, I and many other members of this community have believed that the mask in the Pale City in the hospital belonged to the janitor, to Roger, because it looks like his face if he had eyes. But you can see that the janitor's mask has like fallen down over his eyes. It's all crumpled. So you're like, well, if I straightened it out, what would it look like? It'd look just like the man in the purple suit. But having now seen the man in the purple suit and what he actually looks like, you know, you can see the skin, and it's like the dimensions and the shape of the mask are exactly the same. That mask in the doctor's mask room, in like the flesh room in the hospital in the Pale City, that is the man in the purple suit's mask. It's not Roger's. Which is annoying for me, because I based a lot of my speculative DLC Chapter 3 around Roger and him going back for his mask and needing him around, and they ruined it. God damn it, developers, why did you ruin it for me? But no, like, again, it's called a speculative DLC for a reason, and it was a fun little implication. However, it's not. So it makes me wonder, how are they related? And what if they do business together? The Doctor breathes life into the inanimate, right? He creates these mannequins. He puts them together, and they're obviously plastic, yeah? You know, you'll get these things and you just like stick a mask on top with a hook for a hand and a couple of prosthetic legs or whatever. He sticks them together and he's like, live. And they just do. They come to life and they walk around and they come after our heroes. But our pint-sized protags can keep them frozen with light. So it's like they have a weakness. There's some power that, you know, that they hold some power over them, and I know that's just a game mechanic, but my point is, how does that connect the ventriloquist, the kin and the man, the kin and the minikin, the man in the purple suit? He is surrounded by dummies. So it's like, well, hang on, who's responsible for bringing these inanimate objects to life? And is the reason the carnival is such a prevalent part of the franchise because the man in the purple suit has more to do with that concept than we're aware of? because the teacher is obviously surrounded by porcelain dolls as well in the bullies. So who's responsible for creating them? It was implied in some early concept art that the principal had something to do with that. We didn't get to meet the principal, but he was visible in concept art in the Little Nightmares 2 art book. Also, I'm super excited because I ordered the Little Nightmares 3 Spiral Edition, and I didn't know, right? I obviously I know what comes with it. I didn't know it comes with an art book. I didn't even see that, and I saw it when I was flicking through my old videos yesterday, and I noticed that it comes with an art book. And I'm like, oh my god, that's like my favourite part, is the art book, even more than the OST. I love the art book. It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the notorious Bass. Notorious Bass is in the chat. What's up, Bass? It's great to see you, my brother. I expected you would be at work today. I wouldn't be in the mood for catching me live, but how's it going? Oh, Brother Bass is a legendary Resident Evil player, and he's a Little Nightmares player. I would go, oh, maybe someday. The Notorious Bass is literally a world record holding Resident Evil player. I'm not joking. I'm not blowing smoke, and I'm not just biased because he's a close personal friend of mine in real life. The Notorious Bass is one of the best Resident Evil players on Earth. He's a member of Team Hitless, and he's completed practically every game without getting touched. The man is bulletproof, and if you guys want to see Resident Evil played at a professional level, pop over to Notorious Bass's channel and be sure to check him out and show him some love, because Bass and I have worked on a few projects together that I think you guys will really enjoy. So please feel free to stop over and say hello to my brother Notorious Bass if you guys get a chance. After my stream, don't leave. But don't forget about him either. Alison! Alison, what you doing? You're questionable. Thank you, Alison. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your generous donation. That's very, very kind of you. You're cheeky though. Also, how was Newcastle? I know you got out and about in the world today, Alison. You've been on a little adventure, right? How did you find it? Was it as good as it was for me? I love the line, sweets for my sweet. I do, because it really adds a creep factor to Otto. Otto is such a weirdo. But that line and the way it was delivered by Kester Lovelace, I mean, Kester Lovelace did an amazing job being the voice actor. I was also fortunate enough to speak to Mr. Lovelace myself through email over a little while, about a year ago. He's an amazing man, an incredibly talented person, and the way he delivered that line, it shows how you... Okay, let me give an example. Those of you guys familiar with Harry Potter will know who Dolores Umbridge is. She is the worst, right? You hate that character, and you're supposed to, because she's a villain. And that is a good villain. A good villain in a franchise is one that you actually can't stand, that you really dislike, to a point where you don't even like looking at the actor or actress, because the actress that plays Dolores Umbridge is a wonderful lady. She's amazing. She's very friendly and nice and peppy, and the kind of person you would want to give a hug to. But knowing that she's Dolores Umbridge makes you physically sick. And Otto is a character where, after listening to him and after watching him descend into madness and lose himself to the nowhere and become more and more corrupt to a point where he starts abusing the children in his care, it makes you really, really hate this character. And that is exceptional writing, and it's exceptional acting, because the voice acting is what sells that character, isn't it? I think it's so well done. It's so well done. I'm very, very... God, I love this franchise so much. Much love, Notorious Bass. Massive love for the big NB. Are the children small, or are the Nowhere residents just big? Stinkles, I think both. I think that the children go into the Nowhere exactly the same size as they were when they were in the counties. I think that they are the same size. I think that everything in the Nowhere is warped and distorted. I think the residents of the Nowhere are really, really big. So that's why somebody said earlier on that they think that I, Gemini, could take the ferryman in a fight, and I'm like, nah, dude's kind of big. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm an adult, and I hit the gym, I'm in relatively good shape, and I can fight. So it's like, yeah, I can take the ferryman because we're both adults. He's only scary because they're children and they're tiny. No, the ferryman is like 11 feet tall. Like the ferryman is mad. Like if I was to stand side by side with the ferryman, he'd be up there somewhere. I'd be like, let's go. And he'd just... he would just clap down, dead. I don't think the ferryman would have any problem taking me out. And I think that's true for all the residents in the nowhere. I think that the children who go in, like 6 is 9 years old. The average 9-year-old girl weighs about 30 kilos or something like that, or like 75 pounds, it's 70 pounds, something like that. So I myself could literally pick 6 up by the scruff of it and lift her into the air with one arm. But a 9-year-old girl is like here-ish, you know, like something like, you know, like I mean here, because I'm really tall in real life, obviously. Yeah, I'm 6'5", but yeah, the average 9-year-old girl is you know, is reasonably big compared to me. If you compare that size to the ones in the nowhere, where she literally fits in the palm of their hand. So the residents of the nowhere, compared to us, like adult human beings in real life, they're still like 4 times our size. I think the nowhere itself and the residents of it are distorted and warped, and they are way, way bigger than things actually are. And because you see a lot of inconsistency when it comes to size in the nowhere, right? There's some areas where like six will pull up a chair. Okay, take this for instance. In the nest, the chairs, right? The chairs in the nest are small. And so, you know, all the children are sitting in them, and they look like they're built for the children. They are specifically designed for the children. But then when you pull the but then when you find the chair, like the doctor's chair in the hospital, in the X-ray room, it's massive. It's like so big that they can barely pull it along, and you know, they like the doctor's chair looks just like mine. But the children in the nowhere are like this big by comparison. They're like they'd be under my chair, because it's warped and it's distorted, because the nowhere changes things that go into it. And I think that's intentional. I think it's from the I think it's because the nowhere is built from the subconscious minds of those who are taken by it. Yeah, Nix, that might be an exaggeration, but after seeing the pictures of the Descent to Nowhere comics, you know, the images of the Descent to Nowhere. In fact, let me show you. I'm going to show you guys. But I have it in my archive, I believe. Did I move it? Descent to Nowhere, there you go. Oh, I didn't save that one. Trust it to be the one picture I did not keep. Unbelievable. Okay, you guys can look this up anyway, because you'll be able to see it. There is a picture of the Descent to Nowhere comics that are coming out soon. Well, I say soon, next year probably. And there's a picture of the detective, who is a grown woman. She's like she's young, but she's a grown woman, and she's standing in an elevator, and behind her is the ferryman, and the ferryman is taller than the elevator doors, and the average elevator door is like 7.5 feet tall. Like that's just, you know, just by the standard definitions of door frames, things like that. The ones here in the United Kingdom, they're like always 6'4" or something like that. So the ferryman is implied to be massive, like Shaquille O'Neal massive. He's huge. Pictures of him where he's depicted next to other human beings in the counties, he's always way bigger than they are. So if we meet the ferryman in the nowhere, unless, and I know he's probably capable of augmenting his own size and changing his dimensions at will, but the ferryman, I think, would be one of the biggest entities that we come across in the nowhere, because he's just vast. Not monster baby vast, but I think he'd be one of the biggest ones we encounter. Do you think the villain from Little Nightmares 3 is the Wax Bellman? After all, the character is... You know what, Sire? I don't think that, but I did allude to it in my... Excuse me. This caller is really repeating on me, so forgive me if I'm gross. So in my speculative DLC series in Chapter 5, if you guys haven't seen it, you should check that out. I implied that the Wax Bellman had some power with the mirrors. And there was some way to connect that to Little Nightmares 3, and I think you guys will really enjoy the episode if you haven't seen it. And what Sire's getting at there is basically what I alluded to in that episode. Now, while I don't think it's necessarily true, there was a reason behind what I said and why I implicated that in the way I did. the Wax Bellman is depicted in Gamescom, at the Gamescom event where they advertised Little Nightmares 1 way back in the day, maybe even before it was called Little Nightmares. Maybe that was even when it was called Hunger. The Wax Bellman was featured there. They had like a person in character, like wearing the Wax Bellman suit, and he was always hidden behind mirrors, like two-way mirrors, and he used to move around the environment and interact with people and jump scare people and stuff like that. Yeah, Panther's exactly right. I'm pretty sure the ferryman would slap you once and you'd be sleeping. Yeah, if he didn't kill me in one blow, he would definitely put me to sleep. The dude is an absolute unit. The ferryman would just clap us all to death. It doesn't matter if I'm a grown-ass man who's got combat experience and I'm big and I'm strong and I go to the gym and I'm a cage fighter, and he's like, cool story, bro. Pop. Yeah, Ferryman would slap my shit. I want to give Six a huge hug. And she might be inclined to hug you back, but if she takes a bite out of you, that's your fault. Hanging Man would actually be way taller than the Thin Man. Yes, actually. Thinking about the dimensions of it, yes, he probably would. Yes. Gemini, who do you think came to the nowhere first, Law or Alone, or at the same time? I think Law did. I think it's implied that Law came to the nowhere first because it's stated in his character description that Law has been in the nowhere for years. And if you look at his appearance, he looks war-torn, doesn't he? He's kind of emaciated, and his clothes are like really ragged and dirty, but also his outfit looks like someone who's been surviving wearing those same clothes for a long time. Like his shorts look shorter than they actually were. Perhaps once upon a time they were full pants, but they've just been torn and ripped and damaged over time. His shirt sleeves, his bandages, he's got a lot of even just the fact that he has a handmade bow, his handmade longbow, means that he must have been there for long enough to learn how to use it and how to survive. Here's another thing. I tell you what, I have something to discuss with you guys that I think is very, very important. And again, there are some implications to it in this book. And I wrote a theory about it a long time ago, and I've discussed it in a theory crafting session, much like this one live, way back in June, near my birthday, in a live stream, where I discussed some of this theory. But I want your guys' opinion because it was pretty much confirmed by reading the book. So let me just have a quick read through this. Shaq versus Ferryman. That'd be a dope rap battle. Does Six become the lady? If she does, would she fit? It would fit with the loop, but if she doesn't, how does the loop work? And how does the loop work? Because some of the monsters die, some don't. So how can it loop? Yeah, exactly. Dr. Chaos, that's what makes me think that it's not necessarily a loop, as it is a fractal. Like it's sort of like reflections. I don't know, like transdimensional. That actually brings me on to my next point. I'm really going to make it. I'm going to make it in a sec. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I wanna share with you guys. What's up, Mickey Miranda? How you doing? It's good to see you in the chat. Am I the only one who thinks that statues in an Acropolis look like the viewers? No, they kind of do. They do look very viewer. I think the only difference is that some of them have faces. Like some of them have like eyes and noses, and you can see that particularly when you just find the heads of them laying around. Okay, guys, bear with me and listen to this, because I really like your opinions, because I genuinely believe in this, and I think that, because I always thought it, and I thought it way before, but I actually put it on camera in June of this year. The nowhere itself is transdimensional, okay? You have to evanesce from one reality to another, and your physical body goes to it, right? It's taken to the nowhere. It's evanesced away, and you appear in the nowhere, and then you exist there to a point where you can think, you can feel, you can smell, and it takes your memories, it seems like. That's why none of the children use their own names, and they use pseudonyms and names that they come up with themselves, like Law, Alone, Six, Mono, Noon, Ruse, as again is evident in here, Feast, Mim, all the other characters in there. It's transdimensional, and that much is obvious. But, and this is the question, is the nowhere transtemporal as well? Transtemporal means that it is a dimension that exists outside of ours, which we know, but time works differently. By which I mean, if somebody was to go to the nowhere and spend a day there, or a year there, or 10 years there, they could come back to the counties and mere moments have passed. So Law could be taken to the counties from his own time. So it's implied by a lot of the fact that the characters don't necessarily communicate, not because they don't speak the same language, which could absolutely be true, but because they come from different periods of time. And so Law, let's just, I'm just going to throw it, because I have no evidence to support or substantiate this. I'm just going to spout some nonsense for a bit and see if it makes sense. Let's say Law is an African tribes person, okay, and he lives in Nigeria or somewhere, Liberia, somewhere like that, in like 1,000 years ago. Okay, he lived before electricity. And that's why he's such an exceptional hunter. That's why he's capable, even at his age, of surviving out in the wilderness and, you know, fashioning weapons and using them with such vigor. And then Alone is an incurable tinkerer. She comes from a more modern age, perhaps the industrial age, like the 1800s or something like that, where electricity is a thing, but tools, and you have to get quite good with like mechanics and repairs, and that's why she tinkers, that's why she's curious, that's why machinery fascinates her. But Law kind of looks at it like, what do I do with that? You know, I don't, he doesn't really understand it. He's like, he doesn't really get it, and it could be because even though these two children are the same size and likely the same age, they're both probably around 9 or 10 years old, but they could have been born hundreds of years apart, right? But the Nowhere doesn't care. The Nowhere acts outside of linear time because it's a transtemporal dimension, meaning that the ferryman can appear in the 1800s and snatch Alone out of it, and then you can travel back in time 1,000 years and you can snatch Law out of his time, and you can just stick them both in the same place. You know, you live here now, because time doesn't care how you live or when you live, and that's why there's so many different eras that seem to be that seem to be evident in the Nowhere. So it's like when you're walking through the Pale City, it's very 1960s, 1950s. You know, the school, all the desks, the oil radiators, the chalky, the chalkboard in the school. It's all very 1950s era stuff, but there is electricity. And then there's the necropolis, which is basically the polar opposite. Everything is kinetically powered and powered by wind. The sawmills, the windmills, the clay kilns and things like that. It's all based on wind power, wind and heat from the sun, and things like that. It's a very simple way of living. Could it be possible, do you guys think, that the children we meet in the Nowhere, the visitors, are not only from different times, not only from different places, but different times? And again, those of you that have read this, there is a sentence in this pretty early on, I think in chapter 1, that says something like that, where Ruse, the main character, is looking at the other two characters she meets, Feast and Mim, and she's like, these guys don't even look like they don't look like they're from my town or my school. They don't even look like they're from my time. And one of the characters in particular, Mim, is a little girl who seems mute. She doesn't speak, and she wears a noose around her neck. And I thought perhaps, and she and Mim, and again, I'm so sorry if there's any spoilers here. If you don't want to hear the spoilers for the Little Nightmares, Lonely Ones by E.C. Myers, please mute the stream right now. But Mim is in the carnival, and there's, these lights. They collapse. They collapse and they break on the ground. They start sparking, and electricity is jumping off them. And Mim just sort of waddles over to them, and she's like, ooh, pretty. And she tries to touch the lightning. She tries to touch the electricity coming out of the bulbs. And Feast and Ruse have to pull her back and be like, whoa, what are you doing? Are you suicidal? You're going to die if you touch that. Because she doesn't know what electricity is. She's never seen it before. Because Mim, I think, comes from the Dark Ages. before electricity. I think she comes from Salem, because she is always depicted wearing a noose around her neck. And little girls back in the day, not all of them, but during the Salem witch trials, they would hang witches as a test. Like, you could be accused of witchcraft and that was enough to get you hung. She's a witch. And they would do it to small children with ADHD or autism or some kind of like mental deficiency. And her being mute or her being traumatized in some way might mean that she's illiterate, or she's mentally deprived in some way. So it's like, all right, well, she's obviously a witch, or she's cursed or something like that, so we'll hang her. And they would publicly execute these people, particularly women and small children, usually girls. So it could be that she was accused of witchcraft and she's known nothing but abuse, and that's what brought her to the nowhere. But that took place way before Ruse's time, because Ruse's family had a swimming pool in the back garden, because she's from modern times. And she's seen electricity and she knows what the arcades are. So it's like, okay, I get it. They're from different times. Anyway, that's my thoughts, and there's a lot more to dig into, and I intend to make theory videos where I substantiate all of this with evidence and screenshots and better storytelling, because I haven't had a chance to alliterate this properly, so forgive me for just yapping. But what do you guys think? There you go. Mocky Kitty just said it right there. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there, Kitty, but well, Ruse noticed Feast and Mim looked like they weren't from her time in Chapter 1. Yes, absolutely. I just referenced that a second ago. I'm sorry that if I beat you to it or you beat me to it. I'm not sure. I wasn't looking at chat, so I'm ignorant. Explains why Roost explains to Feast and Mim. Yes, exactly. Crazy Bananas thinks I'm onto something. Thank you. Genuinely don't think the counties is real, and I think it's another layer or trial that the ferryman has set up in order to see who's worthy of getting back to the real world. Could be, Mr. Tips, because there is implied to be several steps in order to get to the nowhere, the counties being one of them and the in-between place being another, which is where Otto actually managed to get. In the Sounds of Nightmares episode 6, Otto makes it to the in-between, like the middle place, right between accessing nowhere. And it's at that point where he begs the ferryman to take him with him, and the ferryman says, no, you're too long in the tooth, I feed the spectrums other end, you be gone. And he denies him access and he goes away and he leaves Otto in the copy. Nix would be probably fascinated by TVs since... Oh. Yes, yeah, exactly, right. Mim wouldn't have known them, or Feast wouldn't have known them. Because Feast is starving as well. So Feast is emaciated and he's constantly looking at food, and every morsel he sees, no matter how disgusting, he's like, I need food. He's so hungry all the time. Law wouldn't be able to survive in there for thousands of years. This is... Right, okay, one thing disproving this perhaps. Noon had a whole dream in a split second in the counties. If Law is from hundreds of years back, he would have been in the nowhere for millennia. Yeah, but this is the thing, Step. So the idea of my transtemporal theory is that although he would have been in there for millennia, he would have been in there for years, time won't pass like that for him. So while it has been thousands of years, it's implied by the developers that Law has been in the nowhere for years. We don't know how many years. So he could have been in there for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, something like that. He's been in there for years. But that's nowhere time. So he's been in there for years worth of nowhere time. But that means that hundreds or thousands of years could have passed in real time. So while in the counties, there is like thousands or like hundreds of years that have passed, for Law, it's only been a couple of years, right? So he has indeed been in there for millennia, essentially, but not to him. That's not what it feels like to him. To him, he's been in there for years, yes, but not the thousands of years that's depicted, or that's implied. You get it? Hey, what's up, Bookworm? How's it going? It's great to see you. Glad you can make it into the stream. Gemini, have you noticed that every Little Nightmares game in media, there is always a little girl that always shoots? Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, and that's stated in the advert for the Descent to Nowhere comics, where she says there's always a little girl, and there is. right? There's always a little girl in every single piece of media, no matter how. Sounds of Nightmares, Noon, little girl. In this, there was Ruse and Mim, little girls. Then, of course, there were 6 in Little Nightmares 1 and 2. There's Alone in Little Nightmares 3. And there's the girl in the yellow raincoat and 6 in Very Little Nightmares. There is always a little girl. You are absolutely right. Really interesting. We haven't seen a story that will just predominantly follow one single boy, like one male child. So she's right. There is always a little girl. Strange. I personally think the supervisor had the ability to detach her hands. It would be a pretty cool concept and could lead to some very cool gameplay mechanics like the hands. Yeah, it kind of could actually, yeah. I don't know, like, because I think that it would be a little bit repetitive just because the hands, you know, we've already had hands sort of thing. And I feel like her insectoid image would create a more unsettling approach, but it doesn't mean that that couldn't be a thing. Right? If she was to detach her arms and just set them after you into the sewers or into the piping system of the candy factory, I would be terrified. That would actually be cool. Yeah, I was diving, Step. If that's the case, Mim deserves a... Oh, Mim absolutely does. Mim really goes through it. I think Mim was my favourite character in the Lonely Ones. I really liked Mim. I think Lo may have been from a tribe in Africa who are witch doctors, which could be another reason why he wears a mask in their culture. Wearing masks makes you look more mysterious. Yes, it does. And there are reasons why a lot of these cultures use masks. Something else that I want you guys to discuss while I take a very, very quick break. This book, Little Nightmares, The Lonely Ones, again, mute right now for the next minute if you don't want spoilers, but this book right here, they go into the backstage in the carnival, and they meet a particularly horrible antagonist, sorry. But they find something in his room. They find Lo's mask, and it's described perfectly. It's like a white porcelain mask, like a stage mask, with a long beak, with one eye winking, as if taking aim. They find Lo's mask in the backstage. And the backstage is an area in the DLC. Does that mean that we might find out how Lo attains his mask? Because we do see him without it in the game when he's in the copy, right at the end of the Little Nightmares 3 demo. So we see him without his mask. So in the Secrets of the Spiral DLC in Little Nightmares 3, when that comes out and we get to visit the backstage, do you think that will be a part of the game where we get to see Lo find his mask? Alright. Yes, okay. Give me just a moment. I have to go and refill my beverage, use the bathroom, and I shall return. Don't go... Oh, Catsy! Look at you just before I left. I'm really glad I didn't just disappear there. Catsy, for Mama Gemma Luna, she's strong, being amazing, and inspiration to us all. Much love to you, Kit Kat Catsy. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you, and I will be showing my mum that, and she will very much appreciate it. I actually toyed with the idea of, before I move, I was going to try and get my mum in a video, or at least get her to say hello to you guys so that you can see her, but it's really difficult to get my mum to travel because she can't walk. So and I live on like the 3rd floor and stuff like that, so I'd carry her. Trust me, I'd do it. I'd bring her up here, but I would absolutely love to sit my mum here and have her say hello to all of you guys in the community. Let me know, while I just disappear for a break, if you guys would be interested in saying hello to my mum. It'd be really nice. Thank you so much, Catsy. That's really, really very much appreciated. Massive W's for Catsy in the chat. Let me get some brrrs in the chat. I really appreciate you. I will be back very shortly. I'm just going to take a 2-minute break. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. I have returned. And yes, massive W's for Catsy in the chat. I really appreciate you guys showing the love to Kit Kat Catsy. She's always a massive support on here, especially to Mama Gemma Luna. She's a big support to my mum. My mum's very grateful for you. She is exceptionally kind. Effortlessly valuable. Also, Gem, have you seen the 6 versus Wort rap battle by Freshie Cat? Yes, I have, and I absolutely love it. I'm Wort, and I'm short on time, as it would seem. So score a nice victory from Coraline's mini-me. It's brilliant. Absolutely love it. I still think 6-1. We'll love that. Brr, yeah, absolutely. Give him a big brr. Massive W's. Thank you, Tibbs. So, yogurt, how's it going? Yogurt parfait. Ah, that sounds delicious. Parfait. Parfait's delicious. I don't think I'm going to stay for long on the stream, in a bad mood and I'm tired. Ah, Saya, I'm sorry that you're not feeling good. Well, I hope I can cheer you up in some way. What can I do to cheer you up and put you in a better mood? Because I don't know why you're in a bad mood, and it's none of my business why you're in a bad mood, but I'd like to cheer you up and make you feel better. So if there's anything I can do, you'll be sure to let me know. Gemini, I sent you something important indeed. Yes, I did actually just have a quick look at that step, and I think I might share it on the stream if that's okay with you. Unless you wanted to expand on it further with me and then go ahead and maybe make a theory on it in the future. It's up to you if you want to look at it now or if you want to wait and we'll dig into it a little bit deeper together. Entirely up to you, but I'll leave that the ball in your court for the moment, Step. Love to see a video of Mama Gemma Luna reacting to all these amazing comments and lovely things being said. Yeah, honestly, it would be really nice, but she will get emotional though, because my mum is like a very, very touchy, hearty kind of person, so she'll absolutely love it. Indie Explorer just uploaded a new Little Nightmares video. Oh, excellent! I'll be checking that out. Indie Explorer always does an amazing job when it comes to Little Nightmares. Indie Explorer deep dives, but he really picks into some of the things that are obscure and you don't really notice. He's done some of my favourite theories on the platform, actually. Really, really impressive streamer. Really impressive creator. Maybe the lady is the one who put the carnival in the first place. Oh, built the carnival in the first place. That's possible, Rexo. She could definitely be involved in it in one way or another, because there are references to the lady in it in the little statues that you find. I think I figured out how to enter the nowhere. In the Lonely Ones, it says that the pool Ruse was in, there were Nightshade. Nightshade is an extremely dangerous plant and also represents death in multiple mythos. We also know that in the Sounds of Nightmares, Noon had a tumour and a water parasite, both being deadly. What if they're the key to the nowhere? It's death and water and trauma. I think it's definitely trauma, and it is implied that the because here's another thing actually to build on that, Bookworm. Consider this as well. You guys that have played the Little Nightmares 3 demo will have noticed that if you stand still, the characters will just do stuff randomly. They'll just act of their own accord, like Six used to, especially with an AI companion. If you just idle, they'll do something. Lo coughs a lot because he's sick. Lo is sick. He's ill, and that's why he's in the counties. Yeah, well, not why he's in there. That's why he's in the copy. He, I believe, is undergoing some form of treatment. I think he's been seen by a doctor, and he doesn't much like this treatment. That's why he hides from it, because it's probably really invasive and impersonal and not very nice at all. So that could be, I think Lo is sick. And I think that's why he's in the nowhere. And it seems that all of the children are traumatized in one way or another. And it is implied that some of them have been on the point of death, like close to death, like Feast being like starving, like he's so heavily emaciated that he's like on the brink of death. He's not going to survive much longer without food. Ruse was drowning in a pool before she was pulled into the nowhere, and Mim is depicted with a noose around her neck with obvious dark implications behind it. So you could definitely be onto something there, Bookworm. Also, in the Descent to Nowhere comics, it's alluded to that the detective jumps off the bridge to access the nowhere, right? She jumps off the bridge into the water, right? So yeah, you could definitely be there. Tiny, I'm good. Parents left for a trip together, so I've been able to get up to... good stuff. Spending some time with your siblings. That's nice, Tiny. What time did Mono 06 come from? Yeah, that's a tough one, because Mono seems to carry like a... he's got like the look, like, imagine Oliver Twist. So like children from like the 90s. I think the Pale City is a reference. It is like mostly given form by Mono himself. But okay. I think we can figure this out. Let's consider this. Just by his outfit alone, he looks very Oliver Twist, which takes place in like the early 1900s. He is taken to the nowhere and is mostly featured in the Pale City, most of which the school, the hospital, and the city itself looks to also take place in the early 1950s, like, you know, early 1900s, where it's like everything's kind of old world, but it's modern enough for a lot of us to understand, as in we'd see it in a lot of local museums and stuff like that. I do. It's where I do a lot of research for my Little Nightmares Theories, is in a local museum. But also, we now have an extension on Mono's story, because not only does his attire look very like early 1900s, but also the area that is largely interlaced with Mono himself, being that he becomes the Thin Man and the Pale City is under control and blah blah blah, all of that, you know, that is like Mono's area. So all of his subconscious, if I'm right that the nowhere creates itself and builds itself based on the subconscious minds of the visitors who are dragged into it, then the Pale City could be dragged straight from Mono's memory, pulled straight out of his psyche and then warped and distorted so that it's horrible. But that is also from the early 1900s. And then there's one other instance that we have recently that I can't really speak to with much substance, but the Descent to Nowhere comics feature Mono, right? And the detective is being asked to look into old milk carton cases of missing children. And on those milk cartons, Mono's face is depicted. And putting faces on milk cartons it's an outdated practice now that mostly used to take place in the United States in the early 1900s. And it was replaced by the Amber Alert, which is like put on TVs, where if children were to go missing, you call the police to put out an Amber Alert system, so that everybody with a TV or a device will be alerted to a missing child. And they essentially phased it out because it wasn't all that successful. But that milk cart, like putting missing children's faces on milk cartons, also came from the early 1900s. So I believe that Mono himself came from that era, which means chances are so does Hush. I've finally been discovered. Hello, Rexo. Rexo, you exist. Congratulations. Step, do another out of context video. Honestly, Step, that made me laugh so much. Ghoul Games is in the building. What's up, Ghoul? How you doing? 13 more days. We can do it. Yes, we must hold out. We must be strong, little ones. Hold on that little bit longer. Guys, I want to go to the nowhere for the day. Is that a good idea? Hell no! That's a terrible idea. But I'd do it. I would absolutely do it. Alone 2 is sick. When you notice it when you play as Law. Interesting. I didn't let her stand still for long enough, I don't think. But it's strange, isn't it, that they all seem to have something wrong with them. Both Law and Alone cough. So I don't think it applies to both of them. Right, okay. Then my apologies, and I'm glad you guys have got a keener eye than I do, because I only noticed when I was leaving them to stand idle, I only noticed Law cough. But that was just in my personal playthrough. If you guys have seen it, if you guys have seen the Lone Coffin, then it's probably just a game mechanic that's like, well, they're in the desert, right? So either they're both sick, which is absolutely a possibility, or they're just reacting to their environment, because I sure as hell would be coughing if I was in the desert with winds kicking up as well. So I don't know, but I'm glad you guys noticed, and I apologise for reading out of context there. Thank you for the correction. Maybe Law was in the time of the Black Death. Yeah, absolutely, given that it looks like a Plague Doctor mask. However, I think that Law's mask is more a dress-up article, especially given they find it in the... what's his name? The monster from this. What's he called? Help me. Help me. I'll read it. The performer! They find his mask in the performer's room, along with a bunch of other props and things like that. So Law's mask, although it does look very Plague Doctor, and you'd be forgiven for thinking it is, it carries more of a statuesque kind of appearance that you would wear at a ball, or in the middle of a show, or as part of an outfit, or a dress-up, something like that. You will wear it to a masquerade ball, for instance, and they find his exact mask in the Backstage. So although you could absolutely be right that he could be from that time, and that would be the implication, that would make perfect sense if they hadn't revealed to us where the mask came from. If we didn't know where the mask came from, then I would be inclined to believe it. In fact, I thought that exact thing myself until I read that book. So well done either way. It's a keen observation, but I don't think it's 100% accurate due to recent revelations. But keen eye otherwise. Do you think a celebrity doctor from the Sounds of Nightmares is treating Law? Yes, potentially. Kitty, when I read your theory in my comment section the other day, I actually read it earlier on. Well, I read it the other day, but I reread it earlier on as well, because I had a feeling you would show up in the chat today. And yes, it absolutely could be, because that might be the curveball that I'm suspecting they throw at us. Now that we know that that Law at least visits the copy in the Little Nightmares 3 demo, so we'll get to see more of this, and we'll probably get to see an expansion of this story. It's safe to assume we're going to encounter Otto, or at least have a development on Otto's story. But if this all happened before, it could be that Law is Ethan, and the guy at the door is Otto, and the doctor he encounters is Otto. But it could still be in the copy, and the treatment he's receiving could be the same, but it could be a different doctor. It might not be Otto. It could very well be the celebrity doctor that was treating Noon in the first place. It could be the guy that came before Otto that was writing the papers that was laughed out of the copy because he tried to discuss the Nowhere and its potential existence, and his peers were just sort of like, don't be ridiculous, you're a crazy person. It could be him. Roach, excellent. I'm glad to hear that you're animated. What if in the Sounds of Nightmares Season 2, Otto kills people who disturb him? What if in the end, the police surround Otto to access the Nowhere and he shoots him? That's dark. I mean, yes, it could absolutely be, but yeah. Wait, what did Yogurt say? I think the fact that we're in the spiral, and Coraline mentioned there are a lot of delusions, I think we could see a Nowhere version of the copy and a county's versions of the copy. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, now that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Could we see a replica, or how the children perceive the copy? Because, again, if what I said earlier on about the Nowhere adapting itself and changing its size and dimensions and everything to suit the to suit the residents of it, to make everything all warped and large and oversized and strange, then when we go to the copy as Law, and he gets off the bed and he walks up to the door, notice that everything's still kind of oversized. Everything's still kind of big. So is the shadow and the noises and everything like that. So what's to say that what he's experiencing is a version of the copy, but it's a version of the copy that's been pulled from his subconscious. So it's not the actual copy, but it's the copy that exists within the Nowhere. That's a very, very acute observation there. I like that, and I'm going to expand on that a little bit. Well done, Yogurt. That was thought-provoking. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Gemini, what do you think? Why do you think Mono tries to leave Hush? I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it really. I can't wait to read it so that I can figure it out. Because it depends on when it takes place. But until the story's been told, I have no idea. But I'm interested to find out, Kip. It could just be that he doesn't trust her, much like Ruse didn't trust Mim and Feast in this book. When she meets these characters, she did not. Oh, sorry, my chat just disappeared. 1 second. Let me just refresh real quick. There you go. Yeah. So when and I'm going to end that poll also because we're done with that now. Thank you very much for voting. I appreciate you. Yeah. So this is it. Yeah. That when Ruse, the main character of this book, meets Mim and Feast, she doesn't immediately trust them and she tries to abandon them. She tries to leave them on several occasions and she's always brought back together with them. It could be that Mono himself is in the same situation. He's just trying to find somewhere safe. He's not interested in it, like it might be his first experience of it, so he might be on the run. He might be just like, right, okay, we've done our bit, we worked together for this particular puzzle, now I'm off, bye. And he leaves her, or he tries to leave her, but he can't, because something about the nowhere keeps drawing them back together for some reason. For one reason or another, he feels attracted to her and her presence, but we don't know why. And I don't want to elaborate too much because I don't know anything about it, and until I read it, I won't have any evidence to substantiate my yapping. So I'll pause it there for the moment. But yeah. Doesn't mean we don't see a nightmare version of Otto. See, Psychonaut is right that we could absolutely... so I've seen people... Let me just read what Psychonaut said in its entirety. I've seen people saying the Little Nightmares 3 demo ends in the counties with Otto approaching the door. Yet Otto would not be that tall compared to the children. Also, the bed is like the other beds in the nowhere. Doesn't mean we don't see a nightmare version. Yes, exactly. And that's what we were just talking about, Psychonaut. I don't know if you missed it or if you've just come in, but what Psychonaut said alludes to what we said about the version of the copy that we see Law in, where he's maskless, and something what could be Otto approaches the door, but it's breathing strange, and its shadow is warped and distorted, and the dimensions of the room are all messed up. It's like, okay, what does this mean? What could this be? What's happening here? It doesn't mean, like Psychonaut just said, that the version of the copy that we see Law in isn't still in the nowhere. And the version of Otto that approaches the door isn't a resident version of Otto, right? It could be very much implied that he's still in the nowhere. It looks like the copy because it's pulled from his subconscious, and the area is given form by the fact that Otto is now a resident of the nowhere. So Otto is a resident, having made his way to the nowhere, being too long in the tooth, and using whatever feeds the spectrums other end to access it, and with it, he brought the copy. But it's a messed up, warped and distorted version of the copy. So when Law wakes up in it, it's not the copy he knew. It's like a nightmare version of it with a nightmare version of Otto. And I think that's what Psychonaut is getting at, and that's what we were talking to earlier on. The sizes don't make sense step. Exactly, yeah, absolutely. Which is what I was talking about earlier on, about the fact that, like, it's still so strange that everything is so warped. You know, the dimensions of everything are so big compared to Law, even though if he's in the copy, then everything should reflect his actual size. Which, again, if we think about the average size of a 9-year-old boy, he would be reasonably tall. Like, he'd be able to reach that door handle, okay? He wouldn't be able to hide under that bed just by running. He'd have to crawl on his belly. But the bed is massive. And the door is even bigger still. And there's a chair in that room, there's a stool in that room as well, that looks like a little footstool, but it's bigger than Lo is. So he's got it's either they didn't think of this, which I highly doubt. You know, it's like the developers made an oopsie, which I don't think, or that we're right. That the copy, the version of the copy that we see, is still in the nowhere. Oh, sorry, Kit Kat, what did you say? My brain is cooking right now. I said something up there, Jen, please read it. Okay, just scrolling up. Do you think Mono was under Otto's care at some point, as he wears a brown paper bag? And if I remember correctly, what does Otto's sweets come in? A brown paper bag. Otto could have given Mono the bag. He could have done. But also, I don't know, because there is, and I'm not questioning it, because I think you're right, and I believe you'll have evidence to support it. But also, I've seen Otto's desk. I've seen it depicted as drawn by the developers in the what was it called? Where they revealed Little Nightmares 3. The showcase. In June, they had the people sit in Otto's office, and Otto's office desk has a glass ball on it. And also in the Sounds of Nightmares, when the Sounds of Nightmares achieved 1 million listens on YouTube, they celebrated by posting out a thank you for 1 million listens decorative art piece. And on it, you can see a couple of different things, one of which is a glass ball containing the sweets for my sweet on Otto's desk. And then finally, in the Sounds of Nightmares, when you hear Noon reaching for a sweet to eat before she's dismissed from the office, it makes like a clinking, like a glassy clinking sound like that, that indicates that it came from glass as well. But there's no reason to believe that those sweets didn't come in a brown bag, as they would have done if you bought them from a sweet shop back in the 1950s, when the Sounds of Nightmares, I believe, is implied to take place. So you could be absolutely right that that Mono was in fact another child of the copy. He could very well be. In fact, there might be a lot more to do with that particular area and the children we've met so far, because 6 was definitely something to do with it, or at least a girl in a yellow raincoat was something to do with the copy, and therefore something to do with Otto. So there could definitely be tie-ins there that I'm not going to question. Just DM'd you a theory I wanted to share, but I couldn't because of YouTube live chat limitations. I see. Let me just take a little look at my Discord. Cool. Hey Gemini, got a theory that I wanted to share, but I couldn't fit it into a message in a live chat. But it's one surrounding Descent to Nowhere. I think the comic will lead us to the reason as to why Mono cares so much about helping 6 as much as he can. I think something bad will happen to Hush, and of course Mono abandoned Hush every chance he got. So now that something awful happened to Hush, he feels bad and guilty. And then the story repeats itself by having what Mono did to Hush happen to himself at the end of Little Nightmares. Yeah, exactly. See, that's my thought process at the moment, and I'm glad you said that, Cool, because that is my initial thought process. But because I don't know the story or when it takes place, it's really hard to pin a timeline on it. But the fact that you've said that there means that I'm not the only one that believes it. I'm not the only person that's considered that. So I'm glad that you've said it there. Let me just... Let me say, Step, why are you yapping? Step. Ah, there's another thing, by the way. Mono isn't hiding his face because of being the Thin Man. He was never intended to be the Thin Man. It's really not a loop. What caused Mono to hide his face, though, and still hide his face after escaping out of the normal world, it must have been something that caused him to become so traumatized, related to his facial appearance, that he ended up in a psychiatric institute at all. Another thing that I'm basing off the fiction named The 7-Year Nightmare. North Wind wanted to keep the loop alive by letting everything go as it wanted. 1 second, I've got to get chat back up. I know I'm missing people. I'm sorry, guys. I'm usually a little... Well, I was about to say I'm usually better at, like, keeping up with chat, but I'm just, like, failing miserably. And, yeah, thank you, Step. I appreciate that. I've got some screenshots of what you've said on there. I do want to think on it a little bit longer before I show it on stream. I might even bring it up in a later one, only because I know I'm missing a lot of chat today and I don't want to upset anybody by focusing too much on one person. And you get a lot of attention, Step, because you always bring some gold to the chat, but I also want to give other people a chance to get involved. Stop hogging the spotlight, Step. How dare you be a good theorist? Damn you and your skills. What did you... There, yoga. I'm afraid that alone may be a figment of Law's imagination. Yeah, right, I thought this too. Or the other way around. I think that one of them... I think something bad is going to happen to one of them at the end. I actually have a sneaking suspicion that towards the end of the game, we're going to find out that the character we've been... or one of the characters that we've been controlling is... essentially the ferryman in disguise, much like in this. Again, for those of you guys that aren't familiar, this is the Little Nightmares comics back from 2017, and the ferryman is a very, very big part of this. And in this story, with the North Wind, we have the refugee boy and his sister, and they're trying to escape, and they take shelter. And the North Wind reveals, well, I caught your sister ages ago, she's dead. But the ferryman pops out because the little boy is like, well, if you've already got my sister, then who's she? Because he's been protecting his sister this whole time. And then she transforms into the ferryman, because the ferryman can change his shape. And then the ferryman pulls the refugee boy away, and he gives him an amulet that takes him away from the whole scenario in general, and that's how he ends up with this. So it's implied that the ferryman can change his shape and take the form of visitors in the nowhere. So it could be implied that the ferryman is low or alone, but we won't know that until the end of the game. Or at least that's my take. I'm honestly glad that the DTN comic shows Mono's more selfish nature and flaws. It really builds on his character, even in... Yeah, absolutely, because I think that, like, Mono is painted as, like, a hero, like a very heroic character that we can all sympathise with, because he's done nothing but good and received nothing but ill treatment. So it really makes you sympathise with the character. So it could be an interesting arc to see Mono and, in a more selfish light. Yeah? Game Survivor, hello and welcome to the stream. Haven't seen your name before, but I hope you're doing okay. Okay, there's something I never truly understand about the girl with the green power that helped Six and Mono. Comic unseen star even. I'd kind of like to discuss her. She vanished to my following of her move. Elaborate on it, Game Survivor. Hopefully I'll be able to answer your question. I doubt it, because the comics are super, super vague and ambiguous, and all of the children within them, according to the developers, are unreliable narrators, meaning that you can't trust their stories entirely. But if you want to elaborate on your point, I'll do my best to explain it. No, Jem, don't say that. I know. Kip, trust me, I don't want that either, but a part of me does, because I love the heartbreak, right? I love how hauntingly nerve-wracking the nowhere makes me. I love the bad endings. Plus, if it's a good ending, according to 50B2, I have to eat a hat, and I'll do it. If it's a happy ending, I will eat my hat. Everyone theorising over the Maw and the Lady's Return in Little Nightmares 3 is pretty similar to all the theorising for King K. Rool being in Bonanza, and K. Rool did show up in Bonanza, so I have hope for the lady. Alright guys, I'm going to take one more break, really, really fast, and then I am going to return. And I'm going to change my screen over a little bit, and I'm going to let you guys look through a couple of pictures and screenshots that I've taken, just so that we can like discuss and elaborate on them a little bit more. I might not be super active with the chat and everything like that. I am going to still try and keep up, but obviously I'll have it all like disbalanced on my screen. But yeah, stick with me. Give me 2 minutes to go take a break. I'll be right back. We'll have a look at this, and then I'll probably wrap up the stream. Stick around. I'll be right back. Okay, so a little while ago, I put out a poll on my YouTube channel, as a lot of you guys would have seen, because a lot of you guys voted on it, because I got hundreds of votes and it was really interesting. Now, I deliberated on doing a live stream very similar to this one, where I would come through what I call the Echoes of Nowhere. And the Echoes of Nowhere is basically my archive folder. I've got screenshots and just all kinds of random little nightmares, bits and pieces that I thought were interesting, that I've just sort of like cram all into the same folder just to keep them safe, you know. Just like, I usually use them as inspiration. I'll look back on them, you know, if I'm just thinking of like, you know, new graphics that I need or new images or whatever. And I invited you guys to share your submissions as well. So if you guys have got anything else, like Step has just sent me a really interesting screenshot that I'm going to share in this in just a moment, because I'm going to change over my camera so you guys can see it. And I'm just going to give you a quick taster now of what we can expect to see, and share with you guys what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to open up my Discord and my email address so that you guys can send me archives of your own if you'd be interested in having me feature them on stream and discuss them. If you guys have got anything interesting to share, and just like little things, because just by looking at these pictures, I find them all very, very thought-provoking. I'm not saying there's going to be anything on here that you haven't seen before, and a lot of it isn't going to make a lot of sense because it's just stuff that I've used for graphics and thumbnails and so on and so forth. But I wanted to show you guys this, so bear with me. So we have Little Cam. Yeah, there we go. So we have Little Cam, Little Gem. And then I'm going to bring up my display, which is this right here. Now, this folder, as you guys can see, there's you guys, there's chat. Everybody say hi, chat. Hi, everybody. So there's you guys, so that I can still see you guys. And I have an archive folder here that is absolutely full to the brim with images, screenshots and things like that of the Little Nightmares universe. And I just wanted to quickly comb through a couple of these and just see what you guys think, you know, see if it inspires anybody to think about their hi chat. Kip's like, hi chat. And see if it has you guys thinking about anything. So yeah, if anything particularly grabs your attention, I hope you guys can actually see, but if anything in particular grabs your attention and you want to talk about it, then feel free, because for the next like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to discuss and elaborate on some of this stuff for you guys. So I'm going to open up with this image here. Do you guys know what this is from? Because I do, because I ordered one. This right here is an image of Lone Alone that's done. It looks like stitching, and it's because it's done in the stitches of a shirt that is available to buy, or at least available to pre-order on Bandai Namco store. And I ordered one of these, and I can't wait to get it. And I just thought this little image was really cute, and I thought maybe I could use it in a thumbnail or something like that. And yeah, exactly, the merch, right? So it's like, oh well, that's really cool and interesting. I was like, all right, okay, fair, I can get behind that. Yeah, exactly, the shirt, right? Because they do shirts. They do shirts and hoodies and jackets and bags and a bunch of other merchandise and stuff. And I've ordered some of it. This actually isn't one of them. This shirt that I'm wearing at the moment is just a very Gemini style Little Nightmares 3 shirt that I had made. But yeah, I haven't actually received the merchandise I ordered yet, because it won't come until October the 10th. Along with my Spiral edition, I'm super excited for, because I was lucky enough to get one. So, Is that the depiction of my idiot playthrough as I outlined them in orange and blue? You know what? Actually, Catsy, maybe yeah, maybe it is. Got a friend about to get me the grey Lone Alone hoodie for Christmas. Yeah, I got that one as well. I'm really excited to wear the hoodie, actually. The hoodie was my favourite piece. I think it was Fear of the Dark. I think it was called the Fear of the Dark hoodie. Oh, here we have one of the gecko minifigures of Roger the janitor, looking awesome. And you can see what I mean by his mask being like folded down and stuff. As you can see from here, that's why a lot of people suspected that the mask we've seen in the Doctor's mask room was Roger's. But it isn't. It's the man in the purple suit, which, as you can see, is really rather similar. Where's it gone? There he is. Yeah, Overman made this picture, and you can kind of see the similarities if I try and side by side these. There you go. This image here was what the man in the purple suit, or the kin as he's known, the kin and the mini kin, and this image was created by the Overman, who is a phenomenal Little Nightmares content creator here on YouTube. He's just I think he's closing in on like 12,000 subscribers now. He's incredibly talented. He's a fascinating artist and a brilliant theorist, and he's a really cool guy. So you should go check him out. But the Overman made this image, and it's cool because you can see the similarities between the kin and Roger, but it does sort of throw a lot of questions into the works, doesn't it? Yeah, really rather curious. Lovely janitor figure. Yeah, I know, right? I think he's awesome. I'm getting one of these soon. Well, I say soon. It's not going to be soon at all, but I'm ordering a box set of these minifigures, and I can't wait to get it. Roger spotted. Got another friend to buy me this figurine in particular. Ah, nice. Sonic, I love Little Nightmares, and I have the Hunter diorama and the bait. I don't have either of those. I want both of them. I'm getting the baby one, but I have to save up for the monster baby one because they are expensive, and I want one. I missed out on the chance to get the Hunter one. The only ones I got is, so I've got Mono and Six together, and then I've got Six. The official 6 that came with the Little Nightmares special edition for PlayStation 4. Then I've got Mono, I've got 6, and I've got Dark 6. And then I've got Mono and 6 pulling out of the TV. Doctor wears a mask too, presumably the Hunter's face even. Yeah, because we see an image of that, right? We see an image in the Hunter's cabin of what looks like the Doctor wearing a Hunter's cap, right? And I think that was early concept art for the Hunter that they changed, but it does have some strange implications. There's a $50 discount on the Monster Baby diorama for a few more days, Gem. I don't know if you noticed it. I did not notice it. Thank you, Step. I really appreciate that. I'll probably end up buying that tonight if that's the case. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your insight. You can always rely on Step. What else have I got in here? Happy TV Day! I don't know if you guys saw this graphic. It was from a little while ago, but it came up. This is now a screen that I use quite frequently as a technical difficulties screen. But yeah, I really think that's a cute little animation that they've got going on there. Jem, stop flexing your merch. I'm jealous. Sorry. It's because I've never had it, is the thing. For the longest, I've been a Little Nightmares fan for a better part of 8 years, and I've only had Little Nightmares merch for about 3 months, so I'm like still super excited about it. When I look at it, I keep forgetting I've got it. The reason I bought the shelf is to display the Little Nightmares merch, because I'm so excited to have it. Yeah, the Roach, that's the problem. A lot of these figures are very, very expensive. Hey, Runaway Cobra, what's up? How you doing? Let's see, what else do we have in here? Oh yeah, so these figures I'm really interested in getting. So there's 4 of these in total, and they are monitor top figures. So you can just pop them off and sit them on top of your monitor. I'm not going to sit them on my monitor because my monitor hasn't got a rim. It's literally just like a glass screen. So they wouldn't be able to balance up there if I wanted them to. But I also would want them on display, so I'm going to buy Mono, Low, 6 and Alone, and I'm going to sit them all on a little shelf over there, as you might imagine. I can't wait to see these. Again, really kind of expensive. Did you paint the 6-band Presto black, or did you? Yeah, so the way I did it, Steph, I bought 2 of these. So we got 6, and then 6, and then Shadow 6, and that. Now this, I made this out of this, essentially. I bought 2 of these, I sprayed this one black, and you guys won't be able to tell, but the lighter on this one glows in the dark. It glows purple as well. So when I turn the lights off, her lighter glows purple and hers glows orange, because I painted it with these. Oops. I painted it with these glow in the dark paints because I felt creative. And I really wanted, because Dark Six is actually my favourite character, and I've never seen a toy of her. I've never seen her depicted in anything. That's why I was super excited. Dark Six is probably the main reason I bought the Spiral Edition, because I wanted the Dark Six outfit. I always wanted a mod so I could play Little Nightmares 1 as Dark Six. I think she's dope. She's absolutely lovely, and I really, really like her. So, yeah, anyway. And I'm really glad how it came out as well. I used, like, really high-quality paint, and I worked really hard on making it accurate. It wasn't difficult to do. You know, I'm not saying it's, like, a piece of art or anything like that. But it's, you know, just a little oddity that I don't think anybody else has. So, you know, I was really happy and really proud to be able to say I have potentially the only Dark Six figurine. I know it's not an official piece, but it's one that I really like and I'm really proud of, so yeah, happy. Something tells me although you can play with them both low and alone, it feels like the boy is our main character. It's like, ooh, Game Survivor, yeah, see, I do kind of get that impression as well, and I don't know if it's just because more people tend to lean towards Law because he's got a new mechanic with the bow, because we've never had ranged attacks before outside of just throwing objects that we managed to pick up as our characters. But it does seem to me that Law is the main character, as it were, so you could absolutely be right. I know, they're so nice. Shipping is diabolical. Yeah, thank you, Step. See, honestly, so for everything I want at the moment, I have roughly £600 worth of Little Nightmares merch in the basket, ready to order. I can't order it because I'm broke and I have to save up. I want it all, but I'm saving up for it. But, you know, obviously I want the Ban Presto figurines, I want the Gecko mini collection, I want the plushies, I want the U2s, I want the dioramas. So there's like £600 worth of stuff there, and it's super expensive. So I'm going to have to order it little by little and piece by piece as I manage to save up for it. But the biggest problem is that out of that £600, probably 150 of it is shipping costs. Like, let's take these for instance. These are around £30 a piece, so $29.99 for each one of these. So it would cost me £120. But if I put the order in, if I order them all at the same time and I click send to me, it'll then add a £30 delivery charge onto that. So you pay an extra 25% just to get them here. And it's not like you can just walk into a store and buy these. You have to pay the shipping charges, and that's where a lot of the costs come from. The shipping charges are the reason I don't have the U2s now, because the U2s should have cost me £120, but with the shipping to the United Kingdom would have cost me £170. It's like, you know, that it's really painful, especially considering I don't have the kind of money to be throwing around. I have people that depend on me. So, like, in my mum and things like that, you know, like, people need my money. I have bills to pay. So any excess money that I get, it's always a very slow game. So I will eventually end up with all of these nice things. But unless somebody, and please, this isn't me begging, so please don't, like, feel obliged under any circumstance. I'm literally just telling how it is. If I want these, either people have to buy them for me, or I have to save up money very slowly and very surely and be absolutely certain that I'm not going to use the money on anything else, because as much as I love them, there are more important things in my life at the moment that I need to spend money on than collectibles. So even though I really want them and I really like them, I can't ask people for them because they're too expensive, and I can't purchase them myself because I just don't have the money. And even if I had them, or like if somebody was to send me like £100 right here, right now, I wouldn't immediately go to the Ban Presto website and buy these figurines. I'd call my mum and I'd say, Mum, do you need any fees for the hospital? Do you need anything for do you need anything buying? Does Dad need a new walking stick? Do you need a new wheelchair? Do you need your rent paying? Do you need food? Do you need electricity? Do you need gas? And I would take care of all their needs before that. So it's not like you would be sending me money, effectively buying me these things, because all the money would go to more important causes, as it should naturally anyway. But yeah, shipping charges can suck my nose. It's so. I know why shipping charges exist. I do get it. I understand it's business and economically it makes sense to have them, but it still sucks because I want this stuff and I would have had a lot more of it if it wasn't for shipping charges, but it's just too much at the moment. Ugh. Get a load of this thing. Yo! Grah. Yeah, exactly. Runaway Cobra. You're exactly right. Yeah, £600 is like a decent TV. It really is as well. You could get a really nice TV for £600. Luckily got mono and 6 YouTubes and they'll be my first piece of little... Oh, Kip, I'm well jealous. You see, now you're bragging. Look at you flexing. I'll sacrifice you again. Soon we finally cut... Oh, Reanimal. Yeah, Sonic, you're right. Reanimal does come out soon. I'm really excited for Reanimal as well. It looks absolutely dope. I've watched just George's playthrough of the demo that they released that they let him play. Or I don't know if they'll let him play it or if he just watched the gameplay demo of it. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I forget now, but yeah. Gem, what's under the dress? Shut up, Step. Shut up. I have no interest in what's under Barbara's dress. Barbara! The sacrifice center's Barbara! Do you think the supervisor can climb walls? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Well, not necessarily walls, but she can definitely climb. So I feel like, I don't feel like climbing will get us away. So like if we climb up a ladder, I feel like she'll be able to follow us. Like we won't be able to climb out of her reach, I don't think. So she might not stick to walls like a spider necessarily, but she's definitely going to be able to climb and use her limbs as a means to like ladder herself up and use anything as a rung. I don't think there's going to be anywhere safe to hide from this thing. Oh, she's horrible, isn't she? Nosebleeding girl, I don't think she's alone. Yes, we had 6 kids in the previous game that were not in the scenes or game. I'd be happy to see them in Little Nightmares 3. Traveller, Lollipop, Eye Bleeding Girl. Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see a lot of these characters. I don't think that the pigtail, the nosebleed girl is alone. I think she's a separate character entirely. I would love to see her in game. In fact, I am in the process of creating a Little Nightmares playable game with the oldest nightmare. In fact, I can show you guys a little bit of that because I have some screen reveals here. So check these out. Refugee boy with his little amulet there. These are the comic book kids from the 2017 comics. And one second, let me just shift you guys a sec. Echo of the Nightmares, Sent to Nowhere. Photos. Yeah. So there's the photos of the kids in here as well. Fat kid, ghost kid, principal. The photos that you can find surrounding in the nowhere. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is a scene I'm looking forward to seeing. Where that thing comes bursting through the door. Yeah, I thought that was the case, Steph. Jen, the cops are outside! Oh, damn it. Hey, no, I'm sticking it right. You'll never take me, coppers! I'll kill you all! Yeah. Yeah, inventory access. Like, you don't want to see what else I've got in the weapons box, but... Oh god, I can't even use the nunchucks properly in here as well because like I will literally hit my light. Like that's my light there. I'm sitting down and I can reach my light. I've got really low ceilings because I live because I'm broke. I live in a cheap house. I love my house. I'm very happy here and I really don't want to move, but I'm gonna have to. Sadly, I won't be able to give you guys a nunchucks display today. I've just got to hope that them coppers stay outside. You never know. I live in the UK. Maybe I like posted something like moderately offensive, so I'm going to be arrested. The Unknown. Oh, that's a creature that's been living rent-free in my nightmares since October. Yeah, honestly. This thing, I know I'm going to end up having bad dreams about this thing. Do we know what trophy images Little Nightmares 3 has? No, we don't. But we do know that there's going to be 32 trophies in the game. Because that was evident in the files and things like that. So you can still find that. So we think there's going to be 32 trophies, but I don't know what any of the images are going to be. I intend to have... So this right here, I work with a gentleman called RJ. And he has a YouTube channel called Casual Hardcore Gamers, and he specialises in platinum trophies. So he'll play on PlayStation, and he'll get all the achievements, and he'll do walkthrough guides and things like that for like popular games like Lies of P, Black Myth Wukong. He's recently done Need for Speed Rivals, which is, it's not a new game, but it's like they're closing the servers down, so you've only got a limited time to get the platinum trophy if you want it. And the platinum collectors community is actually really big. And I said to him, because I work on his videos as an editor, I help him make these videos, and I said to him he should make a Little Nightmares Platinum video, and I put out a poll on this a while ago to see if you guys would be interested in seeing it. And that's why I created this graphic, because I thought, oh well, this could be really cute, but I wasn't sure if you guys would prefer either having Little Nightmares 1, 2 and 3 Platinums all in the same video, or if you wanted a more episodic release. So, you know, the Platinum for Little Nightmares 1, Platinum for Little Nightmares 2, Platinum for Little Nightmares 3 being 3 separate videos so they're easier to digest. And I put this poll out. I'm going to redo the poll soon because he's working on these trophies now, and he'll have the Platinum trophy on Little Nightmares 3 probably by October 11th, because the dude is adept at video games. He's incredibly good, and he'll want me to be working on that video as soon as possible. So there's potentially that. But no, we don't know what the images are going to look like for the trophy collectibles just yet. But it's going to be dope to see him. Mocky Kitty, for your Legion character, does he have nunchucks as a weapon? No, Legion doesn't use a weapon, which is interesting actually, and it would be, now that you've mentioned it, it would be a fun concept to give him nunchucks, but no, Legion doesn't have a weapon. Knight does. I don't know if I've showed you guys Knight yet. I think I did. I think I might have shown Knight in one of my previous streams, but let me just bring up a picture of Knight to show you. So Knight doesn't necessarily have a weapon, but he has a tool. Legion. Comic officials and Knight. There he is. So this is one of my OC characters. This is Knight. And he has a chain. It's like a large oversized chain that he can use as a tool. It's not necessarily a weapon, but he will be able to weaponize it, and he might need to weaponize it at some point during the story, but as of at the moment it's just a tool. It's literally there because he's going to need to use it for reasons I will explain before long. Karina, what's up? How you doing? I'm glad you could make it to the stream. I hope you're doing alright. Welcome in. So that's Knight right there, and obviously he has this big old chain, but he's the only one of my OC characters that actually has a weapon of any description. I mean, Legion kind of has a weapon, but it's not necessarily a weapon in the conventional sense, because Legion is, so this is the three of them together. Whoops, I lost chat. So there's my three OC characters together. We got Legion, we got Knight, and we have Echo. And none of them have weapons. It's essentially, he kind of does, like you could expect that his chain could be used as a weapon. But Legion is always accompanied by the other guy. So Legion doesn't need a weapon. Nope, that's my face. I don't need my face. I need you guys' faces. Where's my folder gone? There it is. Sorry about that. Can we take a moment to realise how beautiful the Little Nightmares font? Yeah, I know. I think the Little Nightmares font is called Amatic, and it's very, very nice because it's like, it's haunting because it's almost childlike. If you look at the Little Nightmares font, it's kind of like, it looks like it was drawn like this. It looks like it was drawn by someone who holds a pen like that, right? In a fist. You know, there's nothing articulate about it. it looks like it was written and drawn by a child, and I love that. I really, really like that because of the spooky kind of connotations that there are surrounding just that font on its own. Very, very nice, and a really great call out there. What's up, Evil? The Evil is in the chat. How are you going? You all good? Yes, you did. Yeah, Catsy's actually drawn me fan art of it. Yeah, if any of you guys want to draw me fan art, by the way, because I love it. Let me just... Where's it gone? Where did it go? Where did it go? Did I lose it? Oh, it's an OC. Yeah, duh. So yeah, this picture here, this entire folder is just full of fan art that people have made me of Legion. So like Catsy drew this one, and Catsy drew this one. The Overman drew me this one. Faceless Art and Skills drew me these. Clamori drew me that one. Heaven Robinson drew this one. Mixed Giraffe drew me that one. Rocco drew me a picture of a character that I'm working on. Keegan Claudio, sorry, not Keegan Claudio. You get what I mean. I love it. If people want to draw me some pictures of my OCs, feel free. I love fan art. I absolutely love it. And I am making a Little Nightmares based comic as well. And if you guys are particularly good at art and you want to create artwork that you would like to see featured in the comic, or at least have potential, because obviously I can't feature it all. There's no way I could possibly feature it all. But there are several very, very talented artists in this community, like the Overman, like Kit Kat Catsy, like Faceless Art and Skills, like Mixed Giraffe, and people like that will actively send me pictures of my OC characters, and that's really heartwarming for me because these characters are very important to me because I created that. They come from the heart, basically. I relate to all of these characters in a way that I can't necessarily put into words, but I'm going to try to communicate to you guys through the comic itself when it comes out at the beginning of 2026. But until then, a lot of it is having to be mysterious, but I am revealing little bits, you know, little by little. So if you guys do want to draw pictures for me, feel free to draw those characters. Like, use the images that I've provided there as your base, and feel free to draw them. I'm not expecting you to, but if you ever wanted to, I'd be more than happy to receive them. And I do tend to show them off as well. Like when I'm on stream or I make videos surrounding my fan art and things like that. I absolutely love stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, let's look at one more picture. What should we look at, guys? I'll tell you, I'll let you pick. I'll let you guys pick. What looks interesting to you in here? Is there anything in particular that you guys can spot just while I'm sort of scrolling through? I'm not going to digital art, however. I'm better with pencil, but that won't be useful for comics. Like Step, it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily have to be because you want it featuring in the comic. Like I've had pictures drawn for me in crayon, dude. Like I really, really respect and love everything about artwork. So like if you wanted to send me I've had one of my viewers in real life is she's a lovely lady, and she has a 5-year-old daughter who's a huge fan of mine, and she's like and she came to me and she's like, this is super embarrassing, but I wondered if I could give you some fan art that my little girl made. She's called Annabelle, and she's very, very nice, and she's adorable, but she's 5, and she drew crayon artwork, and I still have it. And I love it and I adore it because I don't care about the quality of the art. It's more about what the art means to me, and and the fact that you guys are showing me something else. I was drawn. I'll show you another one. Where is it? Let me just bring it up super quick if I can find it. No, we'll see. Art. Like these. Where is it? This one. This is a picture of Mono that was drawn for me by a little girl called Maddie. She's 12, right? And this is the kind of thing I love because it comes from the heart and it's got me in mind, and I really, really like and appreciate it. So Step, honestly, if you don't feel like you're that good at art, I don't care, my brother. I really don't care. I respect the effort, and I find it really, really wholesome. So if you're prepared to spend your time creating something for me, I'm not going to sit here and criticize it. I'm not going to be like, oh, you could have done this better, or you could have used these colors, or you could have made more of an effort. No, absolutely not. I'm going to love it. I'm going to probably stick it on my fridge. You know, when I move house, I'm probably going to have it on the walls. Like, I love this kind of stuff. Seriously, don't worry about your perceived talents. It's more about what it means to me. than what it actually looks like. Oh yeah, Gem. La 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 la. Where is? Oh, I don't know if I can, Catsy, because I don't know if I have it on this screen. Do I? I don't, Catsy. I don't have it on the screen at the moment. Do I have it in a Gem folder? No, damn it. Sorry, Catsy, I don't have it on my computer at the moment. I think it's in Discord, and I don't want to open Discord while I'm on stream for obvious reasons, but I will be sharing it in the next... In fact, don't worry, because it's going to be featured in a video that's coming up anyway. I actually have a special note to feature that particular picture, as well as the one that you did of Mama Gemma Luna as well. They're both going to be featured with your name attached to them. So I can't share it now, but I will share it in an upcoming video, I promise you. Yeah, exactly, right? The fact that it was drawn in crayon is even better, right? Hey, Mika, how's it going? Micah? Sorry, I'm terrible with pronunciation. Yeah, I love artwork as well, Altak. I'm not very good myself, but I do like to scribble. You know, I'll scribble and draw. You know, I'm trying to think if I've got any pictures that I can show you guys that I've, like, drawn. You know, just where I've just been doodling. This is my notebook, but it's probably not got pictures in it. Nope, does it? Oh, well, I don't know if that counts. I drew a silly octopus. There's my artwork. There you go. I drew, yeah, I just like scribble stuff randomly. None of it can really be considered art. It's literally just silly pictures that I happen to have drawn at the time. Where I'm just sitting there like in a call or whatever, and I'm like, you know, I'm listening to the call, but I don't have to be a part of it, so I'll just scribble randomly. Anyway, I'm completely off topic, and I am actually going to close out the stream now because I am running late. Yeah, I drew tails. That's one thing I can draw is like Sonic the Hedgehog. So, like, real fat. I'll tell you what, I'll do that for you guys super quick. Hey, Low and Alone, just stopping by to tell you this. I'm going to try and post more art and videos, more art inspired by... Oh, thank you. I'm really... honestly, Low and Alone, that'll be awesome to see. I can't wait to see it. Frame the octopus. It's fantastic. That's just... Frame the octopus. He's our son. Oh, rigged. Frame the octopus. Should I frame it? Okay, so like right here, so I'm just gonna, I'll tell you what, I'll big screen me so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Because for some reason this is interesting. So like here's my book. So when it comes to Sonic, I start with the eyes, so I just there you go. So start with the eyes like so, one there and one there. Okay, so they just... Can you even see that? No, not likely. There your Sonic eyes. Okay, then you draw his little mouthpiece. There you go. You do a little black nose and a tiny smirk. You blacken its eyes, leaving a tiny bit of them white so that you can see. And then you add an ear. You always put the ear on before the before the spines for density. And then you got 1, 2, and 3 spikes that go over to his head, and then you add another ear on the other side, and there's Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic. There you and, there. Are you happy now? You got a derpy Sonic picture. Gem, send me the octopus and let me make a screenshot. I'll put the octopus as wallpaper right now. Alright, there you go. Like anybody that sends me a DM with this octopus as your wallpaper, then I might shout you out in the next stream. I'll literally tag you in the next stream. There you go. Alright, that's enough of my art for the day. If you guys want to share your artworks with me, please feel free to do so by sending it to me directly on Discord, Gemini540, or use this email address. this is my YouTube email, and everything that you send there will be archived and will probably be added to one of these folders here. And I will feature it in upcoming videos. And yeah, if you guys are interested, we will comb through a lot more folders like this. Not only my folders, but yours as well. So if you guys want to share screenshots and findings and just stuff that you think is interesting about Little Nightmares universe, please feel free to do that, because I'll share them online. You know, we'll talk about them together, we'll sit and we'll go through all of this stuff, because it's just a lot of fun. Like this is one of my favourite pictures in the whole world by Red Rum Rose, and it's because he's like, hey Six, look, and he's doing his staticky hair, and then Six is cackling, and I can just imagine that little cackle. It's just adorable. I think it's really cute and really funny. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, wait, you guys can't even see it. There you go. There you go. Ah, not big camera, small camera. There we are. Sorry about that. They went from the Scott Cawthon right. Yeah, I get it. I get you, Edward. Okay then guys, that's going to do it for this stream, because I am pretty much all out of energy. I need some food, I need more beverage, because I'm running out, and this is a drastic state of affairs to be in, and I do have a meeting in an hour that I have to get ready for. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I do think that it should go step if you've actually made that your wallpaper. So who is going to be the sacrifice for the day? Who are we sacrificing, guys? Aspen Groves. You volunteered yourself. Who else? Kip. No. Kip's all right in my book now. Kip is okay, because Kip said they might not make it, but they did, so that's all right. Gem, check DMs. I'll send it right now. All right, I won't sacrifice Step, since he made my octopus. Okay, which of you did not make my amazing octopus your screensaver, your wallpaper? Psychonaut, if everyone's name means something, why is Six's name Six? The sixth sin, perhaps gluttony. Ooh, yeah, Psychonaut. That's a really cool one, actually. I don't think I've heard that one before. Gem, no, don't sacrifice me, please. Okay, would anybody like to volunteer themselves as tribute to be sacrificed today? Yeah, because I'm gonna make a poll. I'll do it. I'll make a poll. You can't stop me. I'm gonna do it. Who is today's sacrifice? Who should we say? Edward. Well volunteered. Edward. Who else? Who do Aspen Groves? I need one more. Nix! Well volunteered, Nix. Oh. Nix. Alright. Voting starts now. Whoever is decided to be sacrificed will be permanently banned from chat. Sacrifice! Let's go! I demand sacrifice! Give them to me. Give me your souls. I'll eat your dreams. I'm gonna put the octopus as a YouTube banner. I'm not joking. I'm gonna check Step. Right, Step. If you have, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna give you a minute to get it done, and then if you actually have. There we go. Lo is one of the few children who has never lost hope. He has lived in the spiral for many years, obsessed with reaching a mythical place where he believes he will find a gateway leading home. They'll have to work together to survive this dangerous world. Alone is a curious, incurable tinkerer who can't help following the secrets of the spiral to their source. Lo is her best friend. Bookworm, how good you! I love how you guys sort of turn on each other right in the last minute, like, yeah, let's go. Oh, this is a fairly balanced one, actually. Nix and Alt have both got even Stevens at the moment. Facricize! I brrrr today, I'm good. I'm immune. Yeah, Katsy has not made the cut today. She won't be sacrificed. Yeah, Altak, you are close. You are close. Listen, you got to do what you got to do as a loyal Geminis. Yeah, Altak, step up. Yeah, and bear with me. I need to adjust image dimensions to make it a channel logo. You're a sick and twisted individual, Step. Okay. What are we saying? Where are we? Okay. Jem, which part of my doctor theory did you like from your second most recent YouTube short? Mostly the fact that you included the potential of the Doctor attaining fame in much the same way Noon did. So he became like put under the spotlight, but in a different manner. So Noon, she didn't want to be under the spotlight. She didn't want the fame or the eyes on her or any of the attention. But the Doctor, he arguably did it for that reason. Like, he publicly asserted himself in that way, and he put Noon on the stage and things like that. And the fact that you included that Doctor rather than Otto in your theory, or as well as Otto in your theory, made me question whether or not that Doctor could potentially be the one we see in Little Nightmares 3. It's added more nuance to it, because while it is implied and it would be easy to deduce that Otto is in fact the Doctor that we see in Little Nightmares 3, what if it's not? And the reason I wonder what if it's not is because you brought up that specialist doctor who potentially attained fame through Noon. And that's what I liked about your theory. Everyone sacrifice! One of us! One of us! One of us! Come on, guys, I'm getting hungry. It's still even between Nix and Altak. Don't make me flip that coin. It's canon. The octopus shall not fit. Gemini, you still owe me some Aberdeen Angus meatballs. Oh no. I'm going to be reduced to static. Okay, let me just check something. Let me see. Step. One to the kidney, two to the donuts. Left, right, left, right, left, right, go. I won't even come up with it if I like little. There you are. Step! You lied to me. The deception, the betrayal. You know what? Goodbye, Step. You did the deception of the betrayal. I'm not having it. I refuse to believe it. I believed you. I believed you. Look at my face. Why am I here? God damn it. This was art, by the way. Right. Oh, Altak has gone up. No, they're both gone up. This is so even. Ban him! Jem, I promise I'll use the octopus. Edward, right. Edward's already using the octopus. Edward, don't worry. You're safe as far as this vote is concerned. Altak and Nix, you guys need to be worried. Nix! Altak! Change your profile picture to this. Change your profile picture to this octopus. If you don't do it, the first person to change it to their profile picture will survive this ban. But whoever comes in second place, you're gone. You have 10 seconds to comply. Ah, let's go. Never! How dare you? Goodbye, Altak. Altak, I'll tell you what, Altak. Runaway Cobra has a screenshot. Anybody that's actually changed their picture to that silly octopus, please let me know. Send me a picture. Like, send me a screenshot, either to that email address or in Discord. But right now, I'm in sacrifice mode. And it is well and truly on. Altak, what are your last words? Because you know what happens next. Altak is playing with forces beyond his kin. I know, right? I feel so insulted. No, my switchboard. Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Alright. Rebels, right. Oh, that's it. He's trying to start an uprising. Quick, put a stop to it. Altak is gone. He's been removed. Him and Steph have been dragged into the ethereal, ever-expanding nowhere. And you will be next. But that's going to do it for this stream. Thank you all so much for being here. Everybody say goodbye, Altak. Goodbye, Step. Again. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. I've had a blast. I'm super excited. I may go live one more time before Little Nightmares 3 actually drops. I'm not sure. It depends on a lot of different intricacies at the moment. You'd never sacrifice me, right, Gem? Maybe. I suppose you'll find out next time, little ones. But until then, that's game over.